Oh, hey bitch. Oh, excuse you. Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry in. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey, everybody, what's going on? It's your boy Chris Avalon. Happy Wednesday, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. A show where we basically talk about all the things going on in celebrity news, the hot topics, pop culture, whatever's trending on this good old internet. We chat about it on this show. So before we get started, can you please do me a solid and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and also smash that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And so we got a couple of topics we're going to get into today. There's not a lot going on. So we definitely got to talk about that Terrifier 3 trailer that dropped. I don't know if y'all are fans of horror. I hope y'all watched it. If you didn't, we'll talk about it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Plus, they're talking about a reimagining of speaking of horror films, of Anaconda. You know, the old Jennifer Lopez movie that she did with Ice Cube. They said Paul Rudd and Jack Black is gonna be a part of that. So we'll see. They're saying they're in talks. They don't have anybody signing on the dotted line. I was like, can y'all bring Jennifer back? Because I did like her in that movie. So we have that. Speaking of Jennifer, you know we can't go a day without talking about Jennifer and Ben and all this back and forth. He said, she said mess that's going on between those two. So they're revealing the real reason for why she divorced him after 2 years of marriage. Plus, they're trying to say that she was acting more like his mother than his damn wife because he was going on with these damn mood swings. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, people are getting mad at Mariah Carey because she is not being so, with her sister, Alison. Because, her sister passed away the same day as her mother. And Mariah was more or less, mourning her mother more or less than her sister. And I'm like, well, child, if y'all read her damn memoir or even listened to it on Audible like I did, you would be Team Mariah in this. And I'm definitely Team Mariah. And I'm going to tell y'all why when we break it on down and we get to that topic. Plus, speaking of family drama, Halle Berry's still going through it with Olivier Martinez. Now he wants the judge to question her over her twisted narrative and false claims in this whole custody war between their son Maceo. So we're going to talk about that. Angelina Jolie's father, John Voight, is weighing in on the whole Brangelina drama. Jeremy Jackson, who y'all know played Hobie Buchanan on the episode, on the Baywatch series, because we're going back to the 90s, yeah. Because Baywatch released their 4-part docu-series on Hulu today. So Jeremy Jackson out here spilled a little tea, a little too much tea, because he said he was going around smelling the female co-star swimsuits back. I'm like, ew, you nasty. But I feel you on why you was, over there. Them damn hormones be raging. These boys don't know what to do with themselves. Plus, we got the latest on Erika Jayne's estranged husband, Tom Girardi. That story actually came out yesterday while we were doing the show. But I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that topic. We'll just kind of just graze through that. Charli XCX says she's no longer performing songs from her Crash album. I don't blame her. T.S. Madison is opening up about her experience dating a trans man. So a trans woman dating a trans man. And it's a little explicit. So brace yourselves because y'all know how T.S. talk. Hip-hop icon MC Lyte addressed them lesbian rumors, them long overdue lesbian rumors. Because, child, they always pegged her with the bodega rumor flag, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, she's addressing the rumors. So we're going to talk about that. And because she went on the Breakfast Club. Willem got a new gig. And I'm actually excited about this upcoming gig that she has over at Out TV. It's a competition series. And I'm here for it. And the judges she got on there, I'm like, okay, this show going to be lit. And I can't wait until it comes out. Plus, Austin Wolf's trial was supposed to begin this week. We got the latest on it, so we're going to talk about that. So we got that and a whole lot more. I don't think I have any other topics that I have pulled up within that, but yeah, so I think we're pretty good with that for the most part. So, okay. So let me hit my banner. Please hit that like button, that subscribe button. Also, smash that notification button if you haven't already, so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And so let me hit my banner, and without further ado, chat, let's get into this Terrifier 3 trailer. Now, after I saw that they had that whole countdown, especially for Bloody Disgusting, like I cannot tell you how excited I was for this upcoming Terrifier 3 trailer. And of course, 10 o'clock this morning, as they said that they were going to drop it, it came out. I actually woke up a little after 10. So as soon as I got up this morning, I immediately jumped on my phone and watched that trailer. And I have to tell you, I literally watched the trailer back to back. I watched about 3 times back to back just so I could take it all in and just enjoy what it is. I don't know what it is about Art the Clown, but I have to tell you, I'm not big on clowns. It's not like I'm scared of clowns, because I'm not. I worked in the circus, so how can I be scared of clowns? But clowns have never really bothered me. I actually like Pennywise the Clown too, Tim Curry, and I actually liked Bill Skarsgård's, Pennywise. I also like Art the Clown, and I think I like Art the Clown because he's not, he's scary or whatever, but it's just like, it's fun kind of scary, and I guess that's how clowns are. So I watched the trailer. I like what I saw. I was pretty excited. I was overwhelmed with a lot of emotions because it was like, I'm just trying to take it all in. And I didn't want to like go and watch other YouTubers and stuff because, they doing deep dives, they doing other stuff. I don't take it that serious, but I do know one thing. My ass is going to be in the theaters on October 11th when this damn movie come out, because I am most certainly going to take my behind to the theater to see Terrifier 3. Which I actually liked the first one was okay. The first time I actually came about with him was when I saw All Hallows Eve. I'm trying to remember where I saw that. I think I saw it like on Shudder or one of those streaming services, but I believe it's now on Screenbox, which is owned by Bloody Disgusting. I know Bloody Disgusting has a lot of stuff on there. Plus, if you want to watch all the other Terrifier movies, you can go in there and watch that. Terrifier is pretty much on a lot of the streaming services, if you really ask me. Like, I know it's on there. I also know it's on Tubi. And I have a soft spot for Tubi because Tubi, even though the stuff is free, and y'all do get on my nerves with the way y'all sprinkle them commercials up in there, it's the one free service that has so much good stuff on there, especially like the old slash. And yeah, they do have terrible movies on there, but for the most part, I watch a lot of the old 80s movies, like a lot of action, a lot of the slasher movies that I may have missed growing up. I actually catch a lot of those old slasher flicks on there. So in regards of the plot, as they were saying in this film, it says basically, after surviving Art the Clown's Halloween massacre, Sienna and her brother are struggling to rebuild their shattered lives. As the holiday season approaches, they try to embrace the Christmas spirit and leave the horrors of the past behind. But just when they think they're safe, Art the Clown returns, determined to turn their holiday cheer into a new nightmare. And I actually love the fact that they're playing up the whole Christmas thing, because I don't think we get enough Christmas horror movies, and I would love to add this as a part of my Christmas docket, meaning I wanted to be a part of, there's certain movies that I watch that are Christmas films. So one will be Die Hard, the other one is Home Alone, and the third will be Terrifier 3. Now, I was a little worried because, when it comes to a lot of the sequels, the more they make the sequels, they start to kind of diminish in quality and that sort of thing. And this definitely looks like money well spent. And I hope that they don't get to a point where it's just like the budget balloons are like $10 million, $15 million, $25 million. And then it's just all this big pomp and circumstance. And then it's just missing that thing that we love about these films, is the fact that when you have a little bit of money, it forces you to have to be creative. So I hope that they keep the budget small for these and they'll still be able to do these cool practical effects. I also liked in the trailer that they didn't really show us any of the kills and stuff, because one of the things I despise about a lot of movie trailers as of late is that y'all reveal way too much. Even though I liked Alien Romulus, y'all was revealing way too many of them kills in the film. And yeah, they didn't all die the way that they were shown up in the thing, but we already know those characters that y'all were showing, they were the ones that was going to get killed off. So I don't like the fact that when y'all reveal too much. And yeah, I did love the idea that while I was watching this trailer, that we didn't see a lot of the kills. We saw implications of things happening. We know people are going to get killed in the film, but I like the fact that we didn't get to see a lot of those kills play out in the trailer. And I also like the idea that, they always talk about people are appalled by the fact that Art is going to be killing kids in here. And to me, I always think like everybody should get got in horror movies. I don't like the idea of like, well, kids are off limits and this and this and that. I'm like, one of the things I loved about Sleepaway Camp was the fact that Angela at one point massacred a whole bunch of little kids in the little sleeping bags when the guy went to the other 2 kids back to the camp, and he came back to be with the other kids, and it was all hacked up with the axe. I was like, I like stuff like that. I like when they were able to be like, okay, y'all think that y'all are safe, you're not safe. So I like that whole idea of them playing into that. And my thing is this, if y'all gonna get mad about Art the Clown killing kids, then y'all need to be mad about that upcoming Sonic 3, where they're talking about there's gonna be somebody who's a kid that dies in the thing. So I don't understand how y'all okay with when it comes to animation and things, but when it comes to horror, a lot of people like to thumb their nose at a lot of things that go on, particularly in scary movies. So I say all this to say, yeah, I don't want to spend way too much time on this, but I have to say, like, I'm a fan of Terrifier 3. well, of the Terrifier franchise. I can't say I'm a fan of Terrifier 3 because I haven't seen it yet, but I'm a fan of the Terrifier franchise. I definitely like the short films that they have with All Hallows Eve, which is the first time we get to come across learning a lot about, or not even a lot about him, but we get to, this is our first time seeing Art the Clown on our screens. So I'm definitely excited to see where this franchise is going to go. If we're going to dive deeper into the lore of Art the Clown and more backstory with people, I do hope that they're able to judge this movie down, because I do feel like even though I liked Terrifier 2, it was a little bloated. I did feel like there were parts of the film that is like, y'all could have cut maybe a good 10, 15 minutes out of it. Like, it was a little too long. The 2.5 hours of a horror movie, I guess maybe it's because I'm not used to a 2.5 hour slasher film. We're so used to getting 90-minute slasher films. But I guess what happens with those films is that they forego character development, and then we just get carnage candy. And I don't want that. Like, I'm if y'all could balance it with the carnage candy and also give us backstory on the characters, even cooler. And I love the idea that we got Chris Jericho up in there. You know, there's a scene where Art comes out as Santa Claus and he's sitting on top of the throne, like in the mall, and the kids come over and they getting, oh, he's got presents. And I'm like, I'm waiting for the crazy scene of they go in there and they start pulling the presents out, and what is in those damn boxes? What's in the box? Like, I'm just hoping that we get something like that. So I saw this to say, what do y'all think of the trailer? Did you see the trailer? Did you enjoy the trailer? Are you excited to see this film? And Damian Leone, I'm putting this out there in the universe. If y'all can find a way to send me invite to movie premiere, screening, whatever that case is, because I am a huge Art the Clown fan, it would be gladly appreciated. So let me know what you guys think of the trailer in the comments down below. Onyx says, hello, do you think that elderly disabled people should be off limits? No. No. They get got too. Look, Michael Myers killed elderly people in Halloween Kills. And they said those would maybe sad, but are wait, what is that symbol? It's always made me sad, but they're shockingly good. But look, I don't know. I don't know what it is about Art the Clown, but I just become like just drawn to that character. And I don't know. It's just the fact that with the cheesy laugh and stuff. And here's the thing, because one person tried to say to me, when it comes to type of like horror movies like Martyrs was not a movie that I particularly could get through. And then I had people in the comments that was like, oh, that movie was tame. I was like, compared to what? Like, me personally, I don't like watching carnage candy, and it's just like brutal for no reason. Like, y'all just, like, when horror movies are just mean spirited, I don't like sitting watching people getting hacked up, or in the words of Jada Pinkett character in Scream 2, cut the fuck up. Like, I don't like watching movies like that. Like, if I'm watching a horror movie, I want to be able to, I need there to be some kind of irony or a little wink wink. Like, I needed to kind of have like that balance. I'm like a little comedy sprinkled throughout. That's why I think that's probably why I like Scream and I like Friday the 13th. Like, when you see those scary movies, it's like they're scary. You see people get killed. The kills are cool, but those type of franchises don't take themselves too seriously. I don't like just, I guess, the French, I guess they lack a sense of humor, because, a lot of them French horror movies, while they're good, I just be like, y'all a little too serious. Lighten the fuck up. So it's another delay. I've been saying who are you talking about? I've been saying it's a federal case and he's waiting a plea deal that works in his favor. We're talking about Austin Wolf. Why are we jumping the gun until I get to the story? It's like, I know the update. When we get to the story, we'll break it down. But and that was gonna be the thing. It's like, yes, the trial's been delayed for another damn month, but I'm gonna get to it. I had to drink this Red Bull late in the day. It's like, because I was like, I am tired, and I've been working out in that damn sun. So I was like, oh, I need an energy boost. But anyway, let's move on to the next topic. And let's go from Terrifier to Anaconda, because her Anaconda do. So Jack Black and Paul Rudd are in talks to star in Columbia Pictures' reimagining of Anaconda from writer-director Tom Gormican. Now, I will say this. One of the things I've always had to say about like Anaconda, that is a guilty pleasure of mine. Anaconda is definitely a movie that I was pretty excited. Like when I seen it back in the 90s, it was like so cheesy. Let's seeing this thing about a bunch of people going into the Amazon trying to take photo or video of, I guess document will be the proper word, a giant snake, only to realize that they were way in over their head. And funny, and John Voight's in it with that horrible ass accent. We got a story with John Voight later on in the show because he's weighing in on the whole Angelina drama and all the stuff with the kids and all of that stuff. But I definitely enjoyed the film. And then you know how he got killed, and you had Jennifer Lopez up in it, and then you had Ice Cube and Eric Schultz, I believe, was in it, and Carey, I think that's how you say her name. Say her name, say her name. So it was like, it was a relative, and I think, who was it? Owen Wilson was in that. Or was it Luke Wilson? I always get them confused, even though they don't really look alike. One's got the dark hair, one's the light that has blonde hair. I always get like which one is the Owen and which one's the Luke. I think Owen Wilson was the one with the fucked up nose and the blonde hair. But anyway, so and then Luke Wilson was in Charlie's Angels. But anyway, so I thoroughly enjoyed it because it was like 90s cheese, and it was like something that was just like, yeah, it was like horror, but it didn't take itself seriously. And I kind of like that whole B-movie, Roger Corman-esque vibe when it comes to, you know, horror films. So when I heard that they were going to be rebooting it, I was just like, okay, this sounds like a cool, like it definitely would resonate in today's climate. But I just really hope that y'all don't decide to just take yourselves a little too seriously when it comes to making this movie. So they say Tom Gormican, who directed the Nicolas Cage meta movie, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, is co-writing the collaborator Kevin Edden, and will direct the feature. Is that the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent? Is that the movie that Pedro Pascal was in? That name sounds familiar, but I'm not sure who was in it or what it's about. But I'm like, is that the movie that Pedro Pascal was in? I have to look that up. But it said the original movie starred Jennifer Lopez. Okay, so it was Owen Wilson. I think I said it was Owen Wilson. Ice Cube and John Voight, and followed a National Geographic film crew who was hunting for the world's largest and deadliest snake, only to find the tables have turned. Now, according to sources, the news story involves a group of friends facing midlife crises who are remaking their favorite movie from their youth. They head to the rainforest only to find themselves in a fight of their lives against natural disasters, giant snakes, and violent criminals. So y'all gonna probably make this whole thing of y'all going into the rainforest, and they probably gonna have like cartel running through there. And then, so I like the idea that, you know what, while we're going out, we're making this movie, and we probably don't even have a permit to make said film. There's going to be a plethora of things in it. And I do like the idea that it's not just going to be like a movie just set on a giant snake and them trying to kill it. I do like they'll have other things because it's like, okay, you probably got to deal with rain, natural disasters, like any kind of tropical storm, which means that rain machine going to be going on throughout that whole movie. I hope y'all got your shots because, you know, you get sick with all that rain and stuff with the fake rain. Giant anaconda snakes. And then you got the violent criminals, because I guess we need a body count. We don't want to just have like the group of friends getting killed off. I know some of them going to get killed off, but at the same time, you want some of them violent criminals to get got too. So it's unclear who's playing whom. Now, one source said Black would play an erstwhile director, a man stuck in his job as a wedding videographer, while Rudd will play an actor who did a stint on a cop show but sees his Hollywood dreams slipping further and further away. Another source says it was the other way around. Well, here's the thing. I actually think that it sounds perfect this way. I feel like Jack Black should play the director, who wants to have his big moment. They all are in this for this reason. They all want to have like that big career rejuvification. So you have Jack Black play the video director of the film, because he kind of has that look. Paul Rudd play like sort of an actor who had a moment in, you know, on the A-list, but it was short-lived. Now he's washed up and he needs that one film that's going to catapult him back to A-list status. He could definitely play that part. I can't see Jack Black as the washed-up actor. I see him more or less as a director. Now, they said the project has been percolating at the studio since early 2023 and has gone through many rewrites as the filmmaker and Columbia try to find the right balance of tones. Fully formed, the banner run by producers Brad Fuller and Andrew Form are producing the project, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And here's the thing. So they said the movie grossed $136 million at the global box office and went on to quickly reach cult classic status. Anaconda was followed by a series of films, which I will say, they said they even had two of them that aired on the Sci-Fi Channel in 2008 with one starring David Hasselhoff. And we have a David Hasselhoff story later on in the thing. But, you know, the one I will have to say is that I thoroughly enjoyed was the one with I actually like both of them. There was two of them. The first one, I didn't even know they did a Lake Placid versus Anaconda. Where the hell was I for that one? And I did like Lake Placid. Lake Placid, I remember, wasn't that the one Betty White was up in there cussing like a damn sailor? So I did like that one. But to wrap this up, I was trying to remember what was the name of the other one. Hunt of the Blood Orchid with Sally Richardson, Nicholas Gonzalez, and Morris Chestnut. I actually like that one. I think that one went straight to the video too. I don't think that one was released in the theater, but I do remember that one. I've seen that one, and I was like, okay, the straight to DVD sequel, Anaconda's The Hunt for the Blood Orchid. That was actually a good one. I don't like Sally Richardson from, you know, Low Down Dirty Shame, and I always had a little crush on Nicholas Gonzalez, you know, ever since Resurrection Boulevard. And Morris Chestnut, you already know, Chocolate Thunder. So I'm, you know, in regards to this whole thing, I just hope that the reimagining will capture the guilty pleasure essence of the original and doesn't take itself too seriously. And so now, since they're just trying to revive old things like Jumanji and all this other stuff, they can find the right balance. I'm here for it. But I just hope, look, speaking of Paul Rudd, I just hope and pray that y'all don't turn this film into like Ghostbusters, that Frozen Empire. That movie was terrible. I sat and watched that one day on Netflix, and I was like, this shit is stupid. Like, I like the first movie. The first one was cute, but I felt like the sequel relied way too much on nostalgia, and I hope that y'all don't kind of do that with this one. So if y'all can find a way to like find the right tone and balance it out with both movies, I'm here for it. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Y'all here for a reboot or reimagining, as they want to call it? It's a damn reboot of Anaconda and that franchise? Because I always said there was always potential in that franchise. You know, we love like creatures, giant snakes, and things of that nature. You can make any kind of, you know, you can get creative with that sort of thing if you got a good story that you can pass along. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. They said not a midlife crisis movie. I mean, that is kind of shady the way they put that, but I was like, you know what? With people who are like down on their luck and looking for that moment where it's just like revive a little something in their careers or whatever. So it's like, oh yeah, we're just going to go into the rainforest and we're going to do this guerrilla style movie. That sounds like an interesting turn of events. That we want to check out, and we'll see how that works out. Because it's like kind of is a play, I guess, of the original thing, where it's not, oh yeah, it's another team of documentary filmmakers doing National Geographic or HBO Max or something or another. Okay, so now let's move on, y'all, and let's talk about Jennifer, who was revealing why she and Ben are calling it quits. Now, we've been hearing so many stories coming out throughout the week. It's gotten to a point I don't even know what to believe anymore. Like, it's just so much back and forth. I know People Magazine has a huge story on the couple coming out this week, and I'm probably thinking like all the little things that we've been hearing, maybe there's truth to all of it. So I just think that collectively maybe we should just look at all the things. So, you know, throughout their whole separation, they didn't even admit that they were separated. All of a sudden Jennifer comes out and files for divorce last week. But for the past couple of months, spring and summer, we didn't see Jennifer Lopez or Ben Affleck come out and say anything about we're separated, we're not in a relationship. He's kind of off doing his thing, I'm doing mine, I'm working, he's doing whatever. Like, all we knew was that he was working on, you know, Accountant 2. But they said she worked on 8 movies. I'm like, when did she do that? Because we ain't hear nothing about Jennifer filming anything. All we knew was that she went off and she spent her whole summer out in the Hamptons with her kids and her friends and team, the people who keep her glammed up 24/7. That's all we knew. But everybody else, Like, we only knew Ben was working, but that's what they said. So let's go in. So they said neither Jennifer Lopez nor Ben Affleck ever publicly addressed the mounting speculation about a rift in their marriage, chatter that began bubbling up in the spring. But on Tuesday, August 20th, Lopez, who's 55, let her actions do all the talking. That day, the second anniversary of the wedding celebration, she and Affleck, 52, threw at his 87-acre property, aka the plantation. I just love how y'all won't call it what it is, but I'm going to call it what it is. And it said just outside Savannah, Georgia, she quietly filed for divorce. She also asked the court to change her legal last name from Affleck back to Lopez. The filing speaks a ton. It's like, damn, she's so old school and want to be in that relationship. She was willing to take the white man last name. Go ahead, colonizer. Lopez called irreconcilable differences for her divorce petition, and according to insiders, the glamorous pop powerhouse and the more reserved Oscar-winning actor-director indeed had trouble reconciling their opposite, personality, just as they did when they first split back in 2004. Saying they're very different people. She's super public and is more social. He's more of an introvert and is happy hanging out at home. But my thing is this: if that's how you know who you was, why are y'all acting surprised that 20 years later somebody gonna change the way they are? Like, if he's an introvert and she's an extrovert, I don't know how you make that work. I mean, you can find the balance, but if she's somebody that likes going out and having a good time and hanging out with her friends and walking out in the street and don't like all, it doesn't, not don't like, because she loves it, doesn't mind the cameras and the paparazzi and all that stuff. Like the other day, she was trying to fake like, oh, leave me, girl, you love all that shit. Stop it. But with him, it's like he don't like it. But then he out here doing sloppy shit too. So I don't think Ben is that innocent in this whole relationship. But y'all should have figured that out by just dating and not being so quick to run down the damn aisle and get married. So y'all should have actually got a chance to really get to know each other, because 20 years since y'all been together, people change. They say it was a cloud that hung over the relationship. This is what an Affleck source said. He doesn't understand how his bad mood affects people around him. The source, who knows both Affleck and Lopez, also suggests the former couple who wed just a year after they reunited got caught up in the excitement of Bennifer 2.0. It happened quickly, said the source. Those were two people who were in love with love and who wouldn't jump into that. And it's like, they love each other. But the fact of the matter is, I don't like the idea that people just ran around here trying to make it seem like it was all Jennifer that was, oh, I love love. Like, Ben, you grown too. You like what, 3 years younger than her? You old enough to know better. And you also have a mind and you have a mouth and you could speak up if things were moving too fast. You could have said something. A hit dog will holler is what I say. So we're not going to all just put this on her like she's the one that was just like, oh, I love love. He love it too. They both fucking Leo. So I'm not surprised that the both in their energies would kind of be similar in that way. But in regards of personalities, one is a lot different than the other. Just like there's September Virgos and there's August Virgos. I do believe that August Virgos are way more outgoing and are into like hanging out and being more extroverted. September Virgos are more introverted. It's like we're extroverted when we need to be, if we're out performing or we're doing stuff, or we hanging out with our friends or whatever. But that little meter only lasts for so long. It's like, you get a little bit of my time, and then when that social battery starts to run a little low, then we start to do that little Irish goodbye, which means we leave the room and you ain't realize we left. We didn't even tell y'all we left. It's like poof, we just disappear like David Copperfield. So it could have been that too. Like, she's more of a Leo that is an extrovert and like is outgoing and likes to hang out with the people that she's comfortable around. And he'd rather just sit at home and probably watch his movies and drink a beer and smoke his cigarettes and eat his junk food and also drink his Dunkin' Donuts, that nasty ass Dunkin' Donuts coffee. So, she has been pretty busy, because they were trying to say that she had filmed a lot of stuff, including, she has Kiss of the Spider Woman that she filmed out in Jersey. And this was back in February, which she co-produced with Ben Affleck. She has 2 movies that she has coming out with him. There's another movie that's called Unstoppable that's supposed to be coming out. I don't remember when exactly. I think it's like next month or something or another that's supposed to be coming out. But yeah, she did a movie called Unstoppable where Matt Damon and Ben Affleck both produced those films. So they're supposed to be working on that. And they said that she's going to hit the red carpet. He's not, of course, Because why would he have to come out and face the firing squad? Let Hennifer do it, right? So, and they also said that she's a realist. She knew that the marriage was beyond saving. Lopez listed their date of separation as April 26th, and the pair did indeed spend most of the past 4 months apart. So yeah, in addition to Kiss of the Spider-Woman, she had to fulfill her duties as co-chair of the 2024 Met Gala. She was rehearsing for the This Is Me Live summer tour, which she canceled. And then she decided to be with her children, family, and close friends because them tickets wasn't selling. Y'all didn't care. And he was filming The Accountant too. He stayed in a rental house, and that's when I think the first clues between us was we noticed there was some stuff going on. So they also said that, she had worked on 8 movies in 3 years. So they weren't really spending time with each other. And in addition to the films, she shot a Coach campaign, promoted her J-Lo beauty line, launched Delulu, as I like to call it, and created new music. And then she had the fashion shows in Paris, the Met Gala stuff, the trip to Dubai, the collaborations with companies like Revolve. So she's not just a singer, actress, whatever. She is a brand. So she's off doing these other things. She's got her hands in the pots of the fashion world. And she's got the alcohol, the liquor line. And then people will also say, I remember I was talking to a friend who read one of the articles I was doing on this, and they were talking about that, with, even if he is sober and not drinking, that he's got a lot of demons and probably got a lot of things going on with him that he needs to deal with. And there's only so much Hennifer could do. She can't say, and you can't save those who don't want to be saved. And you can't constantly just be there and try to prop them up when you got a lot of your own shit going on. Meaning they're saying that she spent a lot of time making sure Ben was happy and had everything he needed. The way she cared for him was almost childlike. Friends constantly reminded her that she's not responsible for his feelings. He's very moody and dark at times. Hennifer appreciates life in another way. She's very grateful for everything. So this is clearly her people doing all the damn talking. But guess what? Ben ain't no damn innocent because he be having his publicist windmilling for him too. So while somebody, he try to act like he don't care about all the pomp and circumstance and he takes advantage of that celebrity shit when he needs to. Trust and believe. So, I do agree that she is not, she is not his keeper. She's your wife. The wife can only do but so much. She can only sit there and, I'm going to be your cheerleader. I'm going to root for you to do what you need to do. But if you got mood swings, sir, there's medication for that. And I'm not talking about you need to down it with a bottle or whatever the type of shit they put in that damn Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Maybe you need to lay off that for a while. Let your body detox. But if you are moody, you always got a stink attitude, always walking around huffing and puffing, because he gives me that. He gives me like, if I ask you a simple damn question, it's like, first of all, when you do some shit like that, that's some fighting words. Like, I'd be ready to smack your lips off your damn face. This is like me being a parent to one of the kids and just being like, huff at me one more time. Go ahead. That's what it feel like sometimes. So I'm just like, okay, like, what's wrong with you? Now you done fucked up my mood because you coming in here with your little stank ass attitude for some reason. Woke up on the wrong side. Whatever that is, you need to go pray to your God. Deal with your maker, do what you need to do, but don't bring that energy in here because now you're going to affect me. And now I got to sit here walking around with a damn chip on my damn shoulder because you in one of your little stink ass moods. This is why I say there's medication for that. So, yeah. So, I was going to say, where is so this is the People magazine cover that they have coming out this week that is going to dive deep into their split. And I'm sure, like, look, by that time, I done spilled all the tea on this damn show. So y'all might even have to read the magazine. And then let's not forget, before we get off of this, the rumors surrounding the fact that he's messing with Kit Kennedy, who is the daughter of Robert F. Kennedy. That asshole that talking about, oh yeah, I'm going to run on the, a third party candidate, and realizing that ain't nobody supporting his ass. Because he a damn COVID conspiracy theorist, all kinds of other crazy shit. He the black sheep of the damn Kennedy family. They just own his ass. Like Mariah just owned her damn sister. And I love the fact that Bradley Whitford came out and dragged Cheryl Hines, because all of a sudden this bitch is quiet. with her man doing something, but quiet as it's kept, Cheryl Hines ain't had a gig since what, in years? So ain't nobody checking for that dumbass bitch. She could stay over there with him. So fuck her. Just like if Ben, of all the women in the world, if this is true that he's messing with this girl, and I know his people are trying to do damage control and say that that's not what's happening, he fucking her. Trust and believe. And it was probably doing it while he was separated from Bennifer. And this will be, I mean, quiet as his cat, this might be the second man in a row that cheated on her, because allegedly RHOBH was laying low and spreading it wide and sliding people DMs and doing all other stuff, you know, which is why they had to, oh, we're best friends. We realize we're good friends. We're not, I'm like, child, you would have, me as an adult, I would have known within 5 minutes if I'm friend zoning someone. It shouldn't take me being years in a relationship with someone and engaged. Like, they were in a relationship for 4 years and engaged. Y'all just realized y'all was friends. That's PR term for somebody done did some shit, and we just trying to come up with a term that would be amicable so the people don't know the tea. But one of the girls from Southern Charm revealed that RHOBH slid up in her DMs on social media, was trying to get up in that and have her be the mistress while he was going to be off having Bennifer be the wife. And probably sliding his meat popsicle up in her while Bennifer was doing her typical, I'm going off to do business deals or whatever the case is, because you know she stay busy. And he would have been finding ways to go up in there and lay it low and spread it wide with her and probably other women. So, so do I believe that Ben was out here possibly cheating? Yes. And now he's trying to clean up like he innocent in the whole situation. But it's like, sir, you're not innocent, in the words of Britney Spears. You're not that innocent. So I don't want to put this all up on Bennifer. I think y'all both equally to blame. And I also think that y'all both too damn grown to be playing these childish damn games, because y'all are both in y'all 50s. Y'all should know better at this point what y'all want out of life, out of relationships, and be forthcoming and upfront with your do's, your don'ts, and your boundaries. So at this point, y'all both need to grow the hell on up. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Because I know this story ain't going anywhere anytime soon. We still going to be having many stories coming out every other day about, not even every other day, every damn day about Bennifer and Ben in this whole situation. And I guess until the ink run actually dries on their damn divorce papers, we going to still be talking about it in the gossip blogs and everybody else. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Sometimes you gotta hurry up and drink a Red Bull, because you know after a while it starts to taste really weird when it's no longer cold. So honestly, I heard that an introvert and extrovert is the ideal pairing because they balance each other out. Obviously, this is a different scenario because Bennifer is an A-list star and Ben is camera shy. Yeah, that goes to show us, like, that's what I would think. That I would think that an introvert and extrovert would be, you know, the great pairing, because I wouldn't mind being in a relationship with somebody who was like the polar opposite, where it's like, oh, you want to be outgoing? Okay, that's great. I'll let you take the wheel and be all energetic and have the tap dance for everybody at this party, be the life of the party. But I sit back and just sit on the couch, have my drinks, speak when spoken to, and I'll let you do the entertaining. Because after a while, it's like, yeah, I don't want to have to always be the one entertaining the masses. If you want to take the wheel and do whatever, you can have those moments. We could balance each other out in that way. But I guess it's like, maybe it's just because they're two grade A narcissists and two people working in Hollywood that trying to balance that out is really hard for both of them. But it's weird, it's like you're saying Ben is camera shy, but it just seems like some of the antics that he's been pulling lately makes me feel like he's shady, because you love bombing her, you being very passive aggressive, you encouraging her to make the documentary The Greatest Story Never Told. They said that she didn't even have that as her initial idea. She didn't want to do a documentary. She wanted to focus on the album and the movie musical. I guess because, she probably wanted to capitalize off of like what Beyonce was doing with with her visual album and all this stuff. So a lot of people trying to capitalize on that, and that's probably what she was trying to do, and it didn't work because it didn't feel like it was for us. I didn't the movie music didn't feel like it was a thing for us. It felt like it was something, a vanity project she wanted to make, and we didn't feel like we were included in some sort of way. When you see, you know, movie musicals, documentaries, or concert films like what Beyonce did with Renaissance and Taylor Swift did with the Eras Tour, and Madonna is about to do many a times over, and especially lately with her Celebration tour, we feel like we're a part of the process. We feel like we're included in some sort of way. We feel like, okay, this was literally made for the fans. It wasn't made, oh, Madonna's making it for herself, and we just you know, watching the shit unfold. It just felt like a vanity project for Bennifer, and it really didn't feel genuine. We said the Dunkin' fall menu just dropped today, so expect a new bank. It's the best we got right now because of the Starbucks. Chill. Who you telling? And I love Starbucks, but y'all out here supporting the Republican National Convention people. So until you do right by me, everything you think about is going to crumble. So they need to figure that out. But anyway, speaking of, you know, Bennifer, let's move on to her good friend, Mariah Carey. Her good Judy. Or Mariah would say she would say Bennifer's a industry plant. But anyway, so now apparently, because ever since Mariah's sister Alison passed away a couple of days ago, you know, over the weekend, same day her mother passed, people apparently are upset with Mariah because she basically paid her sister dust. I mean, she mentioned a little sentence in her, you know, situation regarding her sister passing away, but they have a tumultuous past and they're estranged. But people out here mad at Mariah because Mariah kind of it seemed like she just thumbed her nose at her sister. But like I said, I am Team Mariah on this situation. So hold on, let me pull up this background courtesy of the Neighborhood Talk. So, according to reports, they said that Mariah did not have any contact with her sister before she passed because an alleged drug addiction drove a massive wedge between the two siblings. Now, Alison's close friend David Baker claimed to the U.S. Sun that the Don't Forget About Us singer never tried to contact her older sister during their estrangement, not even to check on Alison when she was put on hospice care weeks ago. A phone call, or better still, a video call, would have meant so much to Alison, but it never came. This is what Baker told the outlet on Tuesday. Now, according to Baker, the elder sister was unhappy that Mariah cut off contact with her and chose to keep her distance. The callous rejection added more hurt to Alison's pain. She told about it frequently. She wondered if Mariah or any of her relatives will come to her funeral. I am told that a memorial service is planned for a future date, but nothing now. Now, reps for the Grammy winner did not immediately respond to, and this is why I got it from page 6. So she didn't respond to anybody for comment. And you already know, like on Monday, Mariah confirmed the death of her mother and her sister, who died on the same day over the weekend. But here's the thing, because these people want to sit up in here and get mad at Mariah over the fact that she didn't have contact with her sister. I'm like, bitch, are you dense? Because did you forget the things that you did to Mariah? And you don't realize, like, the stuff that y'all do, how that affects people. Mariah revealed in her book, her memoir, I should say, that her sister threw scalding hot water on her, where she got third-degree burns. There was a period where she was 12 years old. She tried to get her hooked on drugs. She tried to traffic her, meaning getting her into adult cinematography and try to pass her off to older men to sexually assault her sister for drugs. So Patricia was, according to Mariah, an evil person. And for her to, for her to protect her sanity, she had to set up boundaries. And if that boundary is, I want nothing to do with you, then I'm cutting you out of my life, that we're not having a relationship, then why are y'all mad at Mariah for setting that boundary? This is the thing that's been irritating me a lot lately. And I realize on this show, we've been talking a lot about boundaries. But apparently y'all seem to think that people don't have a right to set boundaries for things that's going on in their life. If you do harm by me, and I will tell y'all this, I don't have the best relationships with my siblings. One is just like, I feel like I try to give you the benefit of the doubt and I try to trust you, but then they will do something that continues to disappoint me and break my trust. If I'm telling you things in confidence, I don't need you running back and telling people my business. And or if I feel like I'm trusting with some sort of, but you going back over there to the people that I don't really fuck with, and you kind of playing this whole flip-flopping thing. I don't like things like that. I prefer people to show me who they are in the beginning, so that way I know what I'm dealing with. And then don't even get me started on my brother. We don't even talk at all. So it's very basically a situation similar to Mariah and her sister. When you do terrible things, or when you do harm to me, or whatever the case is, I've cut you off. Like, I'm done. Like, I even said at one point, I said if I wouldn't spit on him if he was on fire. And that's how I feel about shit. And I've tried to give people the benefit of the doubt. I've tried to do the whole thing when it comes to forgiveness and all this other stuff. But if you're not willing to receive it, if you're willing to feel a kind of way about certain things, you want to continue to hold grudges, you go ahead and do that. I made peace with who I am. But when I close my eyes at the end of the day, and don't, you know, when I leave this earth, I know that I've come to peace in terms with the things that I have. So I definitely agree with Mariah. And just because, because we need to point this out, excuse me, just because someone's family don't necessarily, you know, just because someone's blood, I should say, doesn't make them family. Because we have a lot of people that we know in our lives where you think like, okay, you're supposed to trust a parent. You're supposed to trust a sibling. They're supposed to be, you know, ride or die, and it should be blood is thicker than water. And it should be that you trust those people that are in your circle, especially the people that, you know, came from your mother's body and your father, like your mother, father create the baby, and y'all are all supposed to be like thick as thieves and protecting of each other. But if there's jealousy, envy, all these other things that come into the picture, which definitely plays a huge role in why I really don't get in the best of friendships with siblings of mine, because I do feel like there's some underlying jealousy. Not with me, because I don't get jealous of nobody. What the fuck I need to be jealous of people for? Live and let live is how I feel. You can live your life as you feel. I don't judge people in that way. But when I hear from people that you always want about every little thing I do, and there's always a sense of jealousy about certain things, it's all like, okay, well, that's how you feel. I can't be around that. And to protect my sanity and to protect my, you know, my overall energy. I don't want to pull this because that's them as siblings. When I want to protect my energy and who I am and my spirit and stuff, then I'm with you on that. So I don't get this whole thing in regards of, I want to see if what the people were saying in the comments. So I'm going to have to pull up, hold on. I was like, let me pull up real quick. What the people is saying. I feel like I'm killing, like, oh, this dead. I said, yeah, you should be comfortable with dead space. Chill. Oh, so I found it really quick, surprisingly. So people said in the comments on the neighborhood talk, stop forcing people to be cordial or nice to their abusers. Exactly. One person said, should we really have thoughts on family business? Well, if they're public, here's the thing what I don't understand with people. Y'all act like y'all can't have conversations about this. One of the things I do love about celebrity is that it shows them, they may be far more financially well off than we are, but there's a relatability in certain things. And I feel like this whole thing with sibling rivalry between Mariah and her sister Alison, they are people who are, we can relate to that. There's a relatability there. So when you say, should we really have thoughts on family business? Why not? Because it's something that you can share your story if you have one, and it may help the next person in regards to that. And another person, I'm going to sound so messed up for this, but just because you're related to blood doesn't mean they won't do you wrong. Another person said, can we normalize not having to be there for people, even family who gave us trauma? Another person said, normalize not telling people how to respond or react to those who did them wrong. And here's the thing. It just goes to show that majority of people, and shout out to y'all, and I know it may sound cold, whatever, I don't care. I love the idea that people say, you know what? If people are doing you harm, if people are going against you in ways that could traumatize you or abuse you in some sort of way, why do I have to forgive the person that abused me? Why do I have to open my heart? It's because what? Because I'm rich? That all of a sudden I'm supposed to just let bygones be bygones and come in and be like, oh, well, you're Mariah Carey. You need to forgive her. Fuck that. I don't care if it was Jesus Christ coming down off the cross to forgive another sibling God decided to have, or give find another damn virgin to get pregnant. You know, Bible talk. It's like, no, I don't care. The energy remains the same. They would say, turn the other cheek. No, you turn your own other cheek. Just like I don't believe in that when they go low, we go high shit. Because look, even Michelle Obama didn't believe that during the DNC last week. So I say all that to say, what do y'all think of this story? Are y'all with Mariah on this? Because I really don't understand how people was out here just not, were getting mad at her for protecting her peace. And my thing is like, okay, so she passed and I gave her little, thoughts and prayers. But if you think that I'm going to sit up here all of a sudden, I'm going to pay for the funeral, that I'm going to actually show up to the event, that I'm going to go all out for somebody that caused a lot of trauma in me as a child, that I'm probably still dealing with. And I don't know if Mariah's gone to therapy or whatever the case, that's her business. But if somebody did you harm as a kid, and then as an adult, you're still working on those traumas in therapy or whatever the case is, and you thinking I'm going to just forgive somebody, I don't know who the hell told you that. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so Onyx says, this is going to sound crazy, but I don't have any relationship with my 10-year-old sister. We don't like each other over something that she did on my birthday, and it's going to be that, well, Jesus. You said you don't even like your sister, and she 10. I'm like, well, damn, I'm going to say she a kid, but I guess it don't matter, right? It don't matter the age. If you're going to do some fuck shit, your ass going to get called out on it. And it's sort of like, yeah, you want to maintain relationships with certain people. So my thing is, when it comes to me and my sister, we're good, but I keep her at a distance because it's like you be flip-flopping too much. So I don't know, and that makes me nervous. If I can't pinpoint where and when one day, whenever I see you, how you coming at me with your energy, I don't know. I gotta keep you over there. But when it comes to my brother, the sight of him make me want to pull out a knife and just go ham. Go full on Art the Clown on his ass. But anyway, let me not bring up Satan, because that's what I refer to him as. I don't even call him by his name anymore. I refer to him as Satan. So, but you know what? But then again, Lucifer was likable, right? Can't call him that. Well, I said Satan. I didn't say Lucifer. So anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Halle Berry, who is still going through it with her ex, Olivia Martinez. I did see her on Twitter yesterday where she was promoting, I think, which I don't know, there was some type of Twitter thing that she was doing where she was promoting her upcoming movie. I think it was called Never Let Go, which is a horror movie. I think it's coming out next month with like her and her two sons confined to this house, and they're supposed to hold on to the rope when they go out. And then I guess one of them lets go of the rope and she has to go out and look for him. And there's some type of creatures in the woods. So they thinking she's crazy, or there's actually actual wolves, monsters out here. I feel like tonally it reminded me of that. Damn, I forget the name of it, but it was a movie that I saw. It was on Shudder with Nicolas Cage, and he had two sons, and it was like these weird looking creatures that hated the sunlight, but they would come out at night and they would just be trying to break in their house or whatever the case was. Them creatures was ugly as hell, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it was called Arcadia or something. I think that was the name of it. But I was like, I relatively enjoyed this movie. But anyway, let's get back to it did relate a bit to Halle Berry, but I got a little sidetracked because I'm sitting there talking about movies. But anyway, so Halle Berry's bitter custody battle with ex-husband Olivier Martinez over their 10-year-old son Maceo has turned into an all-out war because Martinez has requested a judge overseeing the case to cross-examine the actress over her twisted narrative and false claims. Now, court documents reveal that Martinez, who's 58, asked the court to continue with the actress's requested hearing on September 10th and demanded the actress cover the cost for his attorney fees. His attorney claimed Berry, who's 58, is seeking new, extraordinary, and draconian relief, not draconian, to have sole legal custody regarding the party's minor child's mental health and educational decisions, including wanting to solely decide to give the party's son psychiatric medication. Well, goddamn, what the hell's wrong with Maceo that y'all trying to put him on psychiatric medication? Sometimes I be wondering, based off the tea I heard about Halle Berry, is she the one with the mental issues? Allegedly. But anyway, let's continue. They said his attorney claimed Berry, who's also 58, is seeking new extraordinary and draconian relief to have sole legal custody. Okay, I read that already. Then it said the lawyer further accused the Catwoman star of attempting to bootstrap her way into an immediate hearing after a separate motion for emergency orders was denied in July. The filing continues, saying Berry is making the sole custody request and refusing to set it on a date sufficiently far ahead for Martinez to defend it, knowing full well that Martinez has been asking Berry for months to make an attorney fee contribution as he does not have sufficient funds to pay his counsel. It's probably because, no shade, but Olivia Martinez is not an actor who is working a lot. Like, I remember, what was the last time I seen, first of all, what was the last time I've seen Olivia in a damn movie, especially in America? It was that movie that he did with, oh my God, what's her name? Was it Jennifer Connelly or whatever? He was playing like she was a woman who was having an affair with him or something or another. It was like one of those twisted thriller type films. I remember he did do a movie a couple of, way back in the day. Maybe it was like 10, 15 years ago. But Olivier's never had like that. I don't know how his career is in France. All I know is he did a couple of films in America and then just like disappeared. I guess he thought once he got up in that Halle Berry cooch, he had a gold mine when she got pregnant. So he basically said he can't afford to pay his counsel and stuff. So now he need, a little cointada. And they said after using her extraordinary high income for months to try to create a false narrative regarding cooperation with Berry, to which Martinez has not had the funds to respond to every letter and every email, she's now trying to use her ability to pay in all amounts of her own attorney's fees to trample on Martinez's rights and gain sole decision-making ability regarding crucial decisions in Maceo's life, a child who spends 50% of his time with each of his parents. Berry's ex asked the judge to cross-examine her with regards to her false claims, twisted narrative, and basis for her extreme request. He also added, it is crucial that the court know that what Berry has been doing and the level of pressure, which amounts to near harassment on a very constant basis from her, attempting to hurl us into discord and unnecessary problems. So this is getting messy. And he feels that she is waving around her power and her money because she makes more than him. She is a wealthy actress. She's been acting for a long period of time. She is the biggest star. So he feels that because she has a lot of money and all these other things, that she's able to throw her money around to get a leg up over this whole trial. But, whichever way this pendulum swings, unfortunately, what's happening is Maceo is the one who is being affected by the back and forth between these two. So I actually hope that y'all work it out in some sort of way. I like Halle Berry as an actress, but this whole situation, whenever it comes to her and her relationships, her relationships have always been pretty messy. But I do like throughout her entire career, like, I don't know, maybe it was just her energy, whatever. She calls the worst kind of man, but it does seem like she's finally got it together, especially since, she got with Van Hunt. So it is good that she finally got it down packed. She's been able to work out her relationships and make her relationship work for once. But I do wonder also, with her relationship being with Van, and they've been going strong for a couple of years, how is this affecting him? Because he's caught in the middle of this. He doesn't have any children with Halle, but I'm sure he's been a really good cooperative stepfather and helping out in some sort of way with her and the kids, Nala and Maceo. So I really hope that this is not affecting and taking its toll on that relationship as well. But I really hope that they figure this whole thing out and they work it out, because like I said, I like Angelina. That's the next damn story. That's why I was thinking about her. But I like Halle. I don't really know much about Olivier, but and his personality and because it's her side, his side, and somewhere in the middle is the truth. So I really hope that y'all work it out for the sake of this kid. So I'm curious to hear what y'all have to say on this whole relationship mess. Because this is why I say, if the time ever came that I wanted to, as a homosexual, have some children, because I feel like, and I don't want it to be like this, where it's like I'm only having kids because I want to be able to pass down the legacy. because my sister's not having children, my brother's not bringing kids into the world, and I have like with my other cousins and all this other stuff, first generation, they've all had children and passed that situation down. And it's like my father being the oldest and my mother being the oldest, they're the only ones I believe with kids who don't have grandchildren. So it's like, on one hand, I don't want to put that pressure on myself because I do like kids, but then I have my love-hate relationship with children at times. But if I was ever to be put in that situation, I feel like that was a little TMI, what I would say. But anyway, if I was ever in that situation, like Halle or whatever, I'd be the first one. Okay, we go into the surrogate place. I forget what it's called. But we go and find us a surrogate. I'm just going to put my, shit in some eggs and be a single parent. And then it takes a village, right? So I would have women in my kid's life that could help, give that female influence, like a mother father sort of situation. So it's like they have that womanly influence, whatever, where they learn things and they learn to respect women and all those other things, which they will be taught. But I don't want to have to deal with no situations like, oh, you in a same sex relationship, y'all decide to have children, and then when y'all get a divorce, it get messy like this. I ain't got time. I'd rather just be the single parent and have the village come in and contribute, then have to deal with another parent where the possibility of a divorce could happen, and then you want to be messy and petty and weaponize the kids. Because that's the one thing I don't like when it comes to a lot of these relationships. A lot of you parents like to use your children as weapons and pawns against the other parent. And as a power tool. And at the end of the day, y'all need to realize this affects the kid. So let me know, and then they got to deal with their traumas growing up. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so now let's move on from one A-lister to another, and let's talk about Angelina Jolie, whose father, Jon Voight, is weighing in on her divorce drama with Brad Pitt. Now, I will say this, Jon Voight is in a brand new movie called Megalopolis, that film with Francis Ford Coppola, who I did see that he had a recent article that he did, I think it was for Variety, where he was talking about that, I didn't want to make some woke Hollywood movie, and so I cast a lot of people who are deemed problematic in the industry, like Jon Voight, like Shia LaBeouf, and a whole bunch of other people. And I'm sitting there like, first of all, I'm sick and tired of white people using the word woke as, in the wrong term. Woke basically means I'm tired of having to go through this whole situation. But I guess when you're a person of color, you got to constantly remind the clear people who want to sit and use woke as a weapon, where it's just like, oh yeah, we're trying to lecture you. We're trying to tell you, like, if you do something that is deemed controversial, then you should be canceled. That's not what fucking woke means. And I'm tired of people using that word in the wrong connotation. Woke is basically, whenever there was something that was going on, it's basically about being vigilant, especially when it pertain to people of color, mainly black people. So whenever white people were going around doing things where they were rounding black folks up, killing black people, hanging them, lynching them, you ever want to call it, was called be vigilant, be woke. That was the term of where that came from. That is what's the catalyst of that word. But it's been taken as of late and weaponized as like, oh, well, we want to include women or gays or black people in things. Diversity. You're trying to be woke. That's not what that fucking means. And I think a lot of y'all need to realize, the ones that like to weaponize that word, some of y'all need to realize that the world you live in, it ain't just full of white folks. There's a plethora of different races, genders, sexual orientations, creeds, different people. We all have to live amongst each other. I don't know why people try to act like it's a crime to be around people that are different than you, look different, think different. Like, stop doing that. So, and with the whole thing about Jon Voight, I don't agree with him politically, but that shouldn't be a reason why you don't work with somebody. Like, I'm sure I work with people who are Trump supporters or people who are bigots, whatever the case is. But I'm like, okay, as long as you don't just, put your views on me or come at me crazy, I can work alongside anybody. But I don't think that, because you support somebody that I don't support, that you can't have a job. That's like the same thing what I said about Melissa Barrera. I don't like the fact that, because she stood up for Palestine and stuff, that she should be fired from a job. Because your beliefs don't align with mine, then you should be fired from a job. Like, that's ridiculous. So I don't agree with that. But if you are like Shia LaBeouf, allegedly, and putting, abusing your girlfriend or whatever, like, who was it, FKA Twigs, who should not ever star in a movie ever again as an actress. Because if you've seen her in The Crow, like, No, ma'am. But if you're doing things that's crazy like a Shia LaBeouf or what's his name, Ezra Miller, or a Jonathan Majors, then I understand. But if you got different political beliefs, that's not a reason why you should not give somebody a job. But anyway, I don't know. I went on that long tangent with that, but I just wanted to say that about the whole thing with John Boy. So yeah, I don't agree with him in a lot of situations when it comes to his politics. But as an actor, he should be able to work as long as he ain't causing harm to people. So he's weighing in on the drama going on between his daughter, Angelina Jolie, and Brad Pitt. So Oscar winner, who's 85, and Angelina's daddy, is speaking out about her messy divorce from Brad Pitt, saying, "I wish they'd find a way to make peace." This is what he told Fox News Digital in an interview published. Well, of course he had to go on Fox News because that's the only place that'll probably interview him. He said, I think the kids need some stability. I love the kids and I love my daughter, and I want Brad to step up to do, what he has to do in this nonsense. Now, Pitt, who's 60, and Jolie, who's 49, began dating and starring in the 2005 action comedy Mr. and Mrs. Smith. They both tied the knot. Well, he did cheat on her while he was with Jennifer Aniston. We always got to throw that part in. They officially tied the knot in 2014 and separated in 2016. Although they were declared legally single by a judge in 2019, they are still fighting over custody of their children, division of assets, and their winery. Now, for nearly 8 years since they first separated in 2016, Jolie and Pitt have been locked in a legal battle over the sale of their French winery Chateau Miraval after the actress offloaded her share for $67 million in 2021. All the bitterness is partly why the divorce has dragged on for so many years. Neither will let it go, an insider told People magazine in July, saying, "You think they would be over it and just settle?" Jolie's lawyer, Paul Murphy, told Page Six on July 17 that Pitt has control of all the properties the couple shared as well as control of the business, but still he demands more and is suing Angelina for $67 million plus punitive damages. They also had a messy custody battle over the kids, Maddox, who's 23, Pax, who's 20, Zahara, 19, Shiloh, 18, and twins Knox and Vivian. And we already know, the kids don't really have nothing to do with him. One of them changed their last name. Two of them, actually. I think two of them dropped Pitt from their last name. One of them legally changed their name and dropped Pitt from their last name. So clearly, it's I think on both sides, Angelina and Brad, two peas in a pod, stubborn as hell. And like I said, the whole thing with Halle and Olivier and how this is affecting Maceo, I'm sure the shenanigans, the pettiness between these two are affecting a lot of the kids. But of course, because Angelina has custody of all the children, more than likely their hatred. I didn't want to really use the word hatred because hatred is such a strong word, but that's what popped in my brain. But their hatred for their father, I feel like rings stronger than their overall disdain for their mother, because it seemed like that the kids are all Team Angelina. But then again, it was would this be their karma because of how they basically, how y'all came together, especially when, they came together in the form of an affair. Brad was married to Jennifer Aniston, and then I guess Jen didn't want children or whatever at the time, didn't want to start a family. Maybe Brad was feeling very family oriented. Kind of saw that in Angelina because Angelina already had adopted. I believe she had Maddox and Zahara at the time, if I'm not mistaken, and probably saw that dynamic on set while they were filming Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And because I feel and I'm just thinking within the timing of it all, and with him kind of having that, that fatherly itch definitely need to be scratched, and him seeing that through Angelina excited him, which has made him get over there on her. And she went along with it. Because I'm if you looked at Brad Pitt on set and you see all that fineness, child, I would have jumped his bones too. When you oozing sex appeal. But, everybody got their demons. And then they said, according to a filing in April, an NDA that Pitt allegedly proposed to Jolie would cover his personal misconduct, whether related to Miraval or not, in an attempt to prevent her from speaking on his alleged abuse. Because they were saying that, he had a problem with alcohol, and that's why Angelina left him. And then there were some situations that said that allegedly Brad is abusive. Because apparently they said it was a record back in 2016. Jolie said that the Fight Club star who had been allegedly drinking took her to the restroom where he grabbed her by the head, shaking her during an argument about their kids. So, and then there was remember the violent argument on the plane where they said that he actually hit, who was it, Maddox? I think he hit him on the plane. So, Brad Pitt was probably somebody who, he has issues with alcohol. And when he drinks, he's violent. Some people don't know how to drink. Okay, so they said it was Shiloh who was the one that dropped Pitt's last name upon me looking more into the story. And then, but then also, I should say, Zahara also dropped her last name. So she's Zahara Marley Jolie. Shiloh Novell Jolie is the other one. But I don't know about all the other children. We already know like Pax is going through it. He had the accident. So I really believe like with him not wearing the helmet, he's acting out. But in regards of, hold on, because let me like for content, let me pull up the kids' photos. So this is how with all the children, except Pax is not there. But anyway, and I think one of the I forgot. Yeah, because she has 6 kids, right? Yes, I believe all 3 of the bio kids are there. They look just like their mama. The only one who's missing is Pax in this photo. But anyway, so they said the Tomb Raider actress added, some have taken advantage of my silence and the children see lies about themselves in the media, but I remind them that they're their own truth. They know their own truth and their own minds. In fact, there are 6 very brave, very strong young people. So it's like, they're not, she's focusing on her family, the well-being, and she's focusing on their healing because they're the only ones that know the truth. So we could sit and speculate till the cows come home, but I guess we'll never know. But excuse me, but I just hope that they find a way to actually work this situation out because it's unfortunate what these kids are going through and then being caught up in the middle of the drama between both parents. So I really hope that Angelina works it out. And you know what? Jon Voight is out here saying that he wants Brad to step up. It kind of does make me wonder, like, how come he hasn't really been in the kid's life? Is there a reason why, like, he been prohibited from wanting to interact with the kids? Because we really don't see that happening. So we need a little more tea on that. But anyway, speaking of tea, I'd like to hear y'all spill the tea in the comments regarding this story down below. Okay, so now next says, JT says, Terrifier 3 looks meh. Part 1 was cool. Part 2 was watered down to clearly pursue a commercial purpose. Part 3 looks the same except at White Christmas. They got to emphasize psychological horror. Part 4. Well, I hope it doesn't suck. I'm going to go see it in the theater. This will probably be the first, no shame, but this is probably the first time I actually will see Terrifier in a theater. I've never actually seen them in the movies. I watched them both on streaming, but it's like this will probably be the first time I'll actually go into a theater and see it in October. So I hope it doesn't suck, and I hope they don't kill, because once franchises get bigger, I feel like it starts to lose that thing about them that we actually fell in love with. So I'm hoping that they're able to make it, still grounded. Because I remember I forget who I was watching earlier, and they were talking about, I hope they make the budget bigger, and I hope it gets big. I was like, no, I don't want that, because it's gonna feel like the more money you add to the franchise, it's gonna take away. So it's just like, as long as the story's good and a lot of that money goes into the practical effects, then, or if it's used wisely, because we've seen so many movies where I'm like, this movie was made on a small budget, but it looks expensive. Particularly, Ali would say, like Alien Romulus. That movie was like, I think the budget was $80 million. They had a bunch of unknowns in there, but the film looks expensive. And now it's a hit. But I forget what was there was another movie also. The Creator. That one looked pretty expensive, even though that was a tiny budget. 420. Shout out to the weed man. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Baywatch, because Jeremy Jackson, who played Hobie Buchanan on that series back in the 90s, spent a little too much tea, in my opinion. So Jeremy Jackson, the former child star best known for playing David Hasselhoff's son on Baywatch, maybe oversharing a bit about his NSFW antics while filming the dramatic series. Now, I grew up on Baywatch, so I just thought like, on Saturdays, this was like, it's funny. It was Xena, Hercules, and I remember earlier in the day, it used to be Baywatch. I would watch, I think it used to come on 5 o'clock on Channel 9 on Saturdays. And then also there was the Highlander series, Duncan MacLeod of the Cloud McClouds, or Clan McClouds. I'm sorry. It was like with Adrian Paul playing, the immortal. There can only be one. So I used to watch that. There was a lot of really good shows that used to come on in the 90s during that era. And Baywatch, no shade, was my guilty pleasure. So there's actually, if you're going Hulu, there, and it dropped today. So they have a docu-series, I think it's 4 parts, called After Baywatch Moment in the Sun. So it premiered today. I haven't gotten around to watch it, but I saw this story and I was like, okay, we definitely have to talk about this on the show. So Jackson, who is 43, who played Hobie Buchanan on the popular 90s Beach series, revealed he'd sneak into the actresses' trailers when they were home from the day and smell their worn bathing suits. Ew. He said, I would usually sneak into the women's trailers after they were done and grab their dirty bathing suits. Let's just say I smelled every bleep on Baywatch. Did he say pussy? And said, Jackson shared, adding he found one Baywatch babe's scent irresistible. And Nicole Eggert was the big one for sure. He said in the clip, we had a very intimate moment, her and I, and she never knew about it. Now, after the shocking revelation, producers spilled the beans to Eggert, 52, who is battling breast cancer after being diagnosed in 2023. The actress played Summer Quinn on the show and wasn't shocked to learn about Jackson's confession. She said, I knew Jeremy very well. This surprises me not at all, she responded in the documentary. Jackson joined Baywatch in 1990 when he was only 10, beating out several other child actors, including Leonardo DiCaprio, for the role. Well, funny, back in those days, it's like every young actor went up for the same damn roles. So I'm not surprised that, Leonardo DiCaprio was always in those rooms trying to get cast and stuff. They said he grew up on the set, remaining on the show for its entirety until 1999. So it was like, I think it went on for like 9 or 10 seasons. So they also say in the documentary, he shared that Nicole was the one, I guess you could say, I looked up to. She would come in to work late and not give a fuck. And I do wonder if that was probably one of the reasons why y'all fired her, because she ain't last on the, she was only on the show for a couple of seasons. Then she kind of like was gone. So they said Eggert laughed over Jackson's habit, saying, I'm not even mad at 14-year-old Jeremy. I mean, puberty on a show like that. I love grown-up Jeremy for being honest about 14-year-old Jeremy. Now, Jackson, who played the son of David's character, David Hasselhoff's character, they said struggled with crystal meth addiction while filming the series. So was that why he started looking a little old in the face? So they said, I remember David saying, are you smoking pot or something? And I was thinking, like, Jesus, they think I'm smoking pot? I could never tell them the truth. What would they think? When you haven't slept for 5 days and you've been smoking crystal meth, having somebody look you in the eyes and say, dude, are you okay? It's like the worst thing that can happen. Yeah, because once you start doing that meth, and I've seen it, y'all start looking like something out of Dawn of the Damn Dead. Now, Jackson also served time in 2017 for his involvement in an alleged stabbing. I was spiraling down for sure. My life slipped through my hands like sand. Would I do it all again? Probably not. So yeah, throughout the years, I guess being a child star, he was going through some stuff. And I remember like when I used to watch Baywatch, it was all about, I love me some Pamela Anderson. And, Pamela Anderson was the one that became the biggest star out of that show. And of course, we had Yasmin Bleeth. We had Alexandra Paul. We also had, y'all remember, before this series, she was in, what was the Stephen King movie? Christine. She was in that. And then also, I also had my other favorites. I love me some Billy Warlock. I love me some David Chokachi, or as I used to call him, David Choke Your Chicken. And then, of course, we had the first Black Baywatch babe, Tracy Bingham. And let's not forget, Jason Momoa once upon a time was on Baywatch also, but I believe that was that Baywatch Nights, or was that, no, Baywatch Nights had Eddie Cibrian on it. I remember that. But Jason Momoa, I think they tried to do a Baywatch spinoff, and he was a part of that because I don't recall him being on Baywatch. But I do remember he was a part of the Baywatch family. But I think it was a spinoff they tried, and it was short-lived. But I do remember that they did try to do a primetime series, Baywatch Nights, with Eddie Cibrian. And David Hasselhoff was a part of that show as well. So they tried many a times over the years to spin off the franchise or whatever. But we all know like Pamela Anderson was the one who was the breakout star. She was the one who was actually not there when they did the premiere, the red carpet, as y'all saw the picture of Jeremy Jackson on the red carpet. And so, you had to have a specific body type when you was on that show, because they talked about it. It's like, no, when it came to them bikinis, you had to fit it in. And like I said, they had like the first black Baywatch babe, Tracy Bingham, who still looked the same, but you could tell she had some work done. But she's still wearing them crooked ass wigs. I kind of wish I would have had the picture of her up in here so y'all could have saw it. And then they also had Erika Eleniak on there, but I think she was on season, like the earlier seasons when the show first started. But she wasn't there. And also, and Carmen Electra was a part of the show as well. Let's not forget about her. So many beautiful women came from that show. And that was just a show that was just a moment in time. I was like, Jeremy looked good here. The body is bodying. He looked like an MMA fighter, but the body's on point though. But in regards to that, I was like, yeah, that was a little bit oversharing with him. But I will say this. It's like, I totally get it. Like, if you work on a show and it's like hormones is raging, you're 14 years old and you're surrounded by hot chicks all day. You're on a beach, half naked and all this other stuff, shooting a series where it's all about eye candy and beautiful women. And they're wearing like these bikinis where it's just like the inseam is like up in their vagina damn near. You'd be up in there sniffing their panties too. So I'm not mad at Jeremy over this. Even though, like I said, it's TMI, I get it. Because you were a kid. And it's like, when them hormones is raging and you around pussy all damn day, how you supposed to react? And I'm sure he was probably beating his meat, sniffing all that mess while he was working. I mean, while he was in their trailers. I'm just glad he didn't get caught. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all think it was TMI, or did y'all have a cackle like I did? I had it on the inside. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, that's nasty. Shame on him. You should see the tweaker epidemic. No, don't remind me. I used to see the tweaker epidemic when I lived in LA. That was the reason why I left. And the funny enough, we do have Methodists in New York, but I don't think it's as bad as it is out in Cali. But I was like, I know it's 10 times worse out there. Christina Cunty Killer Convertible. Okay. You said you would let him sniff. Funny enough, somebody said when I posted the article on it, they were like, but would he let me sniff his underwear? I was like, oh, you nasty. But I was like, Well, first of all, Jeremy Jackson was a cutie back in the day. Like, he and I around the same age. So I was like, yeah, he was a little cutie patootie back in there. Especially when I didn't look at him when he was little, because he looked like a little child. But then when he had that little growth spurt, and because some people, they be starting out like these little old things, and then all of a sudden, today they look 12, and then tomorrow all of a sudden they have this huge growth spurt, and they look like they 16, 17. I'm like, well, goddamn, when did you have that old growth spurt? And yeah, he was a cutie growing up, but he looked better now. He's got that douchey look, but he still look good. And let's see how many more topics we got before we get up out of here. So we have about 6. Yeah, about 6, 7 topics. They're not going to be long topics, though, but yeah, it's like 6 topics. So in the meantime, before we get to those topics, can you please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and also smash that notification button if you haven't already, so that way when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And without further ado, let's get into this Tom Girardi story. So we have an update on Erika Jayne's estranged husband. I think they're still married, because that's why I put estranged to be on the safe side, because I'm like, I don't know if they signed the divorce papers or she's still married to him technically. But apparently they sentenced him. Well, they came with a verdict, I should say. And this happened like while I was in the middle of the show. So I didn't even know this story had happened until I logged off, and then I had came across it. So it looked like Tom Girardi is guilty. And they said with each count that he has, and that's 4 counts that he was charged with, each count is 20 years on his sentence. So he could be sentenced to 80 years in prison. Now, let me remind y'all a little something. Tom Girardi's 85. So he's going to be damn near 200 when he get out of prison. I mean, not damn it when he get out, because he'll be dead in prison. Like, he'll die. He's going to die in jail. So you got 80 years on top of your 80 years. So you're going to be damn near 200 years old. But he ain't going to live that long. So, no shade. So they said the lawyer of estranged husband of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Erika Jayne has been found guilty on 4 counts in Los Angeles, on all 4 counts, I should say. A Los Angeles jury today convicted Tom Girardi, whose work inspired the Julia Roberts film Erin Brockovich, of running a massive 10-year Ponzi scheme in which he siphoned at least $15 million in settlement funds from 4 of his legal clients. The 85-year-old estranged husband of Erika Jayne was found guilty of all 4 wire fraud charges and faces a potential prison sentence of up to 20 years on each count, which is what I said. It's going to be 80 years on top of his 85 years of living on this earth. And then we have the full Justice Department release about the case. So, and then, you know, they had the whole thing in the Hulu documentary. Of course, if y'all didn't see that, they said the scams ran from 2010 for 10 years. And it was in the subject of a 2021 Hulu documentary. We talked about Hulu. Shout out to y'all. Y'all be giving it when it comes to the documentaries. And I have to say, like, I'm living for a lot of the nostalgia stuff that they have out too. Like, we was talking about the Baywatch docuseries they have out. They have and then what was it? Then on HBO Max, or was it Investigation Discovery? They have the one on Nick Carter. They had the one on Nickelodeon. Like, I like the fact that y'all kind of digging into the nostalgia times and y'all breaking a lot of these stories down. It's fascinating. I don't know. I always like docuseries and ID channel type stuff where y'all be breaking these criminal activities down and taking down the bad guys, particularly Tom Girardi, who clearly was someone who was living beyond his means and was probably trying to floss and give Erika, who was a little show pony, no shade, but girl, that's what you are, you know, giving her this lavish lifestyle. You have a beautiful young woman in your arm, as old as you were when you met her, showering her with all this stuff, and then y'all get to live that out. But the crazy part is, some of this was kind of exploited on the Real Housewives. I mean, I'll be up in here showing off your private planes, and I said planes as in plural, your mansion, the expensive cars and all that stuff. Now we know where all that was coming from. This whole Ponzi scheme. So they said he was a well-known attorney for his role in real-life 1980s suit against utility company Pacific Gas and Electric that inspired the 2000 film Erin Brockovich. Roberts Julia, as in Julia, I should say, won a Best Actress Oscar for that role. Saying Mr. Girardi exploited his client's misfortunes on a grand scale, said Justice Department Special Agent in Charge Tyler Hatcher. His client sought his help in the wake of significant trauma and injury, yet he violated their trust to steal from them and fund his own lavish lifestyle, and he will now face the consequences of his actions. I heard some people said that they didn't even want him to go to jail. I'm like, you do the crime, you do the time. And I don't feel like, because he's 85 damn years old, that he should be exempt from being thrown in prison. He ain't think about that when he was doing it when he was in his 70s and 60s. So why the hell we gotta all of a sudden give him leniency because he's 85 and allegedly has dementia? It's like, no. If y'all not willing to give the same grace to other races, we're not just gonna be because he's white and old. And I'm there. I'm taking it there because I feel like that's what a lot of y'all be thinking in the back of your mind. Oh, he's non-threatening. He was threatening because he took them people money. No, threats ain't only in you hitting somebody in the kneecaps with a tire iron. When you're doing white collar crimes, you should be doing just as much time as you would if you was doing a non-white collar crime, depending on the situation, I should say. So yeah, they basically said, and I don't want to read the whole citation, but they also said Tom Girardi built celebrity status and lured his victims by falsely portraying himself as a champion of justice. In reality, he was a Robin Hood in reverse, stealing from the needy to support a lavish Hollywood lifestyle. Today's verdict shows that the game is up. We can now see this defendant for what he was and the victims he callously betrayed. So it breaks it on down. If y'all want to read the article, y'all could definitely go over to my website, chrisavalon.com, and read the whole Justice Department release about the case, if y'all want to get around to doing that. But and I know some people are like, well, what does Erika feel? I mean, how does Erika play into all this? I don't think it was a situation where she knew what was going on. I do believe that Tom kept her out of a lot of his affairs, just like I believe that Joe Giudice kept Teresa Giudice out of a lot of his affairs. She was off just being the doting wife and doing some other stuff. And I'm sure like Tom was busy using a lot of his funds to fund. I mean, not his fund, because clearly he was stealing it, but he was using those people's funds, to funnel Erika's music career. Because you do know she's a pop star. She does music. She gives the gays what they want, basically. She did in Vegas, although that wasn't Tom Girardi behind all that. That was post the Tom Girardi mess. But throughout her career, back when she used to get her videos and everything played on Logo, Erika Jayne was, he was funneling a lot of money into her music career. So I don't think she had anything to do with that. Now, I do hope going forward, since we are getting Beverly Hills Housewives season 14, that there will be cameras on Erika when she finds out what the verdict is, and this plays into her story somehow, because she is a part of this. Whether, not in the sense of that she was in on it or whatever the case was, but for the fact of that she is a victim of circumstance. Meaning, well, I should say, like, yeah, I want to pull that picture up just for dramatic effect. But it's just like she was a part of that. Like that's her. Well, I don't know if they're still married. Like I said before, that was her husband. They have history. So to get to understand where she's coming from on this and finally able to get closure, and she's been able to build her career post Tom Girardi and all the shenanigans, that's definitely something that we should explore in the upcoming season of the Housewives of Beverly Hills, because that's a part of her story. So I saw this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Now, comments, speaking of which, that's what I said. He got to go to prison. It's like, we're not getting away with that. Robert said, I'm obsessed with Titans, an R-rated version of Titans, no teen. I'm on the 4th and final season already. Thank you for 1 minute ads or 2 7-second ads for their shows. Did I watch Titans? I think I watched some of it, but it was giving me a little CW tease with Titans. I'm gonna try to get back into it, because I remember at one point my roommates was sitting there binge watching the show, and I did think it was relatively interesting, but it was giving me very much CW budget. But I'm gonna give it another chance. He said, I do believe the last Brat remix Sympathy is a Knife with Taylor Swift. I also heard Apple remix with Katy Perry was canceled. Well, I do agree that she should have canceled it. And I also heard that Katy Perry has a new song that she's been teasing people with, Doechii, and they're saying the song is horrible. Another horrible mid-ass Dr. Luke song. And you want to know something, Katy? I hope it was worth it. You decided, to take that risk when you knew damn well there's so many other producers out here you could be working with, and you decided to choose him. And I don't even think it's the fact that, like, let's put the whole idea of, the whole thing regarding Dr. Luke and what he allegedly did to Kesha to the side. Listening to the songs is like, these songs are dated. It's tired. They're not good. And I like Doechii. Now, when you put Doechii on a song and the song is trash, I'm like, well, goddamn, it ain't even her. It's you now. Now I'm looking at, okay, Katy, it's you. And the fact that Katy is, somebody who's mediocre and probably a producer's puppet, that she can't come out with a bop unless she works with certain people. And looking at Dr. Luke, he clearly doesn't have it anymore. So I do feel like the smart thing to do was to cancel Katy Perry being a part of Apple and let Sympathy as a Knife with Taylor Swift be the next song. I mean, it makes sense to do it that way, especially because, where Taylor's career is now. Now, speaking of Charli XCX, let's get into her. Because apparently she says she's done promoting, she's not performing any of songs from her last album, Crash, which she called her sellout main pop girly album. Which I do find is kind of funny, because that was the sellout album. And I know a lot of people, I saw there was a Reddit thread that said that they felt that Crash was her best album. I'm like, clearly you're not a Charli XCX fan, because for you to even think that, it's like, no, that's not her best body of work. It was just her playing the game and her actually being like, you know what, what would it sound like if I actually did an album that played the game like all these other pop your faves do. Because Charli was never really that girl. She was always going to march to the beat of her own drum. So the album came out in 2022 with singles just as Good Ones, Beg For You featuring Rina Sawayama and New Shapes featuring Christine and the Queens and Caroline Polachek. XCX also went on a worldwide tour and performed the Crash set at Coachella and Primavera Sound, making it one of her favorite eras among fans. However, those songs might be retired sooner than we thought. Do I want to be singing Good Ones forever? XCX recently mused in an interview with Vulture. Personally, no. Those songs don't get me off as much. I do like Good Ones, but I do agree that album is it's way too polished, in my opinion. And they don't get me off as, even though I didn't write the record, they don't get me off as much, but they do got some bops on there. One of the things I will say is that in addition to Good Ones, Constant Repeat is constantly on repeat. So it's smart that she actually named that song, because that's like, that is an earworm that you constantly have to put on repeat. Sidebar, I'm pissed off because why nobody told me Brooke Candy dropped a new damn album? I was sitting up there the other day, I came across an article where she was being interviewed for her latest record. They said her album came out in June or July. I can't remember the actual month, but I'm like, so when was somebody going to tell me that Brooke Candy released a new album? That I believe was produced by I think some of it was produced by A.G. Cook, but she did kind of work in that whole hyper pop type of sound. So she also said, I've been signed to a major label since I was 16. Throughout that time, I've never really utilized the major label in a way that I'm supposed to. I've kind of always gone off grid, made my own path. Because of that, there's been a lot of tension between the way I've chosen to do things and the way a major label expects female pop stars to do things. Well, she said pop artists. And I think a lot of my previous work has really been born out of that tension, or some at least. Well, I do feel like that Charli's always kind of been that girl who takes more of a rebellious approach when she makes music, because she's like, oh, I'm not going to have y'all try to tell me what I'm going to do. And to me, I feel like if you're an artist who has a clear point of view and a vision of, okay, this is what I want to do musically, I feel like labels should allow those artists to make that decision. And if they fail, then it's like, see, I told you so. Now y'all got to do what we tell you. But if an artist is self-assured from the beginning, like Charli has been, and it's like, you don't see the bigger picture, you don't see the vision, but I know the direction on where I want my music to go. And now, a decade later, this whole hyperpop thing has exploded, and she's on top of the world, and people are finally catching up to what she's been doing. But she also said, with this final album, the final album is my deal. I wanted to play into this idea of, what if I played the game? Hence the whole selling my soul thing. What if I took pitch songs? What if I worked with an A&R for the first time in 10 years? What if I started using interpolations in a few of the songs? That's my world. To be honest, yeah, it would be deemed a performance art piece, but it's also a personal test to see whether I can handle it and whether that makes me happy and how it makes me feel. And I said, you know what? And I feel like that's pretty cool in what she was saying in regards of, what if I decided, I'm going to look at it from the point of view, because you got to psych yourselves in some sort of way. And I guess as a way to compromise. It's like, but if I come at it from a point of view of like a performance art piece, then I can be at peace with playing the game and giving these people what they want. But then also saying, if I sell my soul, am I okay with it? Can I handle that sort of thing? And does it make me happy? How does it make me feel? So I was like, okay, let me just give them what they want for once so they can get off my freaking back. But they also said that she signed another deal with the same label, which Brat was later released on. I could have sworn that it was that she was independent, that she signed to her boyfriend or her fiance's label. I didn't know she was still with the same label. So at this point, like I said, Charli is an icon. First of all, I love the photo shoot that she recently did for the New Yorker. Like the shoot and everything with that looked pretty cool. And the funny enough, I could, like, the minute I saw the photos that she did for that, I was like, David LaChapelle. First of all, David LaChapelle always has a signature look that he does in regard. Oh wait, the vulture thing. I was trying to see if I could pull that up, but it's like David LaChapelle's shoots have a signature, a signature look, and it's like, yeah, I could definitely tell it's a David LaChapelle look. And them legs look muscular on her. Like, I remember he's done a lot of iconic photo shoots. I remember I loved his one with Eminem with the dynamite in front of his genitals. I love the one that he did with Britney Spears. I love the shoot he did with Little Kim. And of course, you know, my girl Amanda Lepore, who has been a muse for David LaChapelle. I definitely live for his stuff. So I'm not really mad at her over this. I'm not mad if she decides to be like, you know what? I don't want to do a shoot. I mean, I don't want to perform that album. Now, the mood comes where it's like, okay, I want to maybe sing a song or two from that thing, from that album, then I'll do it. But and I feel like with any artist, if a song doesn't resonate with you like it did when you first recorded it, if it provides you some sort, if there's some behind the scenes stuff that affected you, was like, y'all don't realize what was going on when I was creating this record at the time, then I wouldn't record it, or not record it, I wouldn't perform it. And so it'll be interesting to see, like, when this Sweat tour finally starts. I don't know when it's supposed to kick off. I need to look that up. But I know it's sometime next month in September. But when this Sweat tour finally kicks off, what songs is actually going to be a part of the set list, as well as Shy Girl and Troye Sivan, because those ones I'm pretty much curious about. But I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Are you Charli XCX fans upset that she's not going to be performing songs for the Crash album? I know there's a lot of people who probably feel like that's her best body of work. To me personally, it is not one of my favorite Charli XCX records. Like, there's been other albums of hers that, you know, I live for. I didn't even know she was born. I forgot she's a Leo. But yeah, she's they were trying to say she shut down rumors of bad blood with Charli. Oh, Taylor Swift shut down rumors of bad blood with Charli XCX. Well, yeah, because allegedly that "Sympathy is a Knife" song, apparently, it's funny how she's using this new album as a way to squash all these beefs that y'all said that she has with people. So it's like with me, my favorite Charli XCX records, you know, I love True Romance, I love Sucker, and I love Pop 2. Those are like my top three. And then, of course, we throw Brad up in there. To be honest, Brad has some good songs, but Brad is not like one of my favorite. I feel like this is the album that finally broke her out into the mainstream, because now y'all paying attention. But I like more of her earlier stuff. And yeah, Brad is a good record. Brad is a solid record. Brad is a record that I listen to a multitude of times. But is it like one of my top records? It's like, no, I prefer her earlier stuff. I prefer Sucker. I prefer Pop 2, and I prefer True Romance. That's the Charli that I live for. So let me know what y'all guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so you said the budget got bigger when they went to Max, but cheaper, but cheap budget was because DC Universe streaming service was small. And as for the CW thing, I'm looking at Greg Berlanti, a gay guy. But I do like Greg Berlanti. She called it her Janet album. Yes, that's Janet Jackson. In that case, that's actually Shade. How I'm feeling now, as I'm told, the precursor to Brat. Dirty hit for the UK, Atlantic for the US. She was signed to Asylum in the UK. Her UK label had a huge problem. David LaChapelle really shoots because there's no event. Exactly. And my thing is, if the opportunity ever presented itself, bitch, if I ran into David LaChapelle, I was like, no, let me not cuss. I was like, let's do a shoot. Like, I do agree. Like, back in the day, I used to live for a lot of the artists that would take risks and want to do creative stuff, but like would get creative with the photo shoots. Everybody be playing it safe. A lot of you artists are boring now. So I do wish that y'all would, you know, get adventurous with the shoots. And the Rihanna lawsuit, despite a victory, made him broke and turn off. He became very select. What? Wait. I need to look into that. What was the I need a refresher on the lawsuit, because I remember there was something that happened, but I have forgotten. You said Brat is hyperpop made for mainstream. It's her most successful Billboard 200. Did you like my Toklo video on? I don't think I've seen that video yet, because I've been busy all day, so I haven't really been checking a lot of my messages. But anyway, let's move on, and let's talk about T.S. Madison, who is opening up about her experience, her first experience dating a trans man. Now, this was something I saw that was on her Maddie in the Morning show, because she usually does two shows. She does Maddie in the Morning and she does Fag Talk. But I guess because Craig, I believe, is on, I think she said he's on vacation or something or another. So they're not really doing the show at the moment. So she did Maddie in the Morning. And she went on and revealed her first time getting with a trans man. Now, we do have the clip that I want to play for y'all. Hold on a second. And then I'm going to let you hear the homework, because you know Maddie is unfiltered with her mouth. So I'm going to let y'all hear in her own words, and then we'll come back and we'll talk. Please hold.
I am a heterosexual transgender woman. My first time that I encountered a trans man that I didn't know was a trans man, when I found out that they were a trans man, I was already in it. So in the space, that's good, that I was like, all right, well, let me go ahead on and just see how this works. But then the stipulations came, and the stipulations in the sex department was, you can't fuck me. And so for me, it's just like, but you can't fuck me with no plastic dick either. I got enough dick for both of us. So you can't fuck me with no unreal dick, and you don't want the real dick. So this not gonna work.
You have to come to a compromise.
That was the compromise.
Right.
I would have probably stayed in the situation if I could have fucked. That's just me.
That's good.
I am a heterosexual trans. I didn't reduce my trans friend down to his anatomy, because I liked everything else, but it just came to, when it came down to having stipulations on sexual, how we were going to have sex.
That was the deal breaker.
That was the deal breaker for me, because it's like, you not finna be fucking me with no dildo.
So basically, you saying that you would have been in a relationship, but you just would be having a different sex partner.
You weren't fucking me with no dildo.
That was really your only. That's your real only.
You ain't fucking me with no dildo. I'm all right with everything else. I was like, okay, I might could do this. I didn't, but it was when we got down to the. I don't reduce to the part. You're not fucking me with a scrap on. I have a booty hole. And so because I have a booty hole and you have a vagina, and you don't know when a man fucking me, we can both, when me and a nigga is having intimate sex with each other, we can both feel what's going on here. Because he inside of me, he feel this going on. I feel that going on. We feeling that. A dildo is that you ain't gonna feel none of that shit. I'm sorry. So don't come in here enjoying life. Don't come here asking me what's wrong with a dildo. I'm a cockhound. I've told y'all this before. I want the dick. The nuts. I want to be teabagged. All of that.
Oh my God.
Those are.
They got the new dildos. They got nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Those some dildors have some.
They can't feel that. There are souls in the nuts of men. You a man, Berta, you got nuts. There are souls in your nut. Oh, you a man, there are souls in your nut. I need to feel those souls, either in me or on me.
I was like, of course, Maddie gonna make it comedic, but you wanna know something? I actually am not mad at what she said, and I feel like this is her experience. She should have a right to feel how she feels, and the fact of the matter is, like, yeah, there are people that are able to make, a trans man and a trans woman can get in relationships. I've seen it happen where it's even a trans woman has married a trans man, and they decide to have a child, where the trans man is the one that carries the kid, but then the trans woman is the one, because they have the meat and potatoes between me down there they can make that happen. And I feel like when people get mad, it's like, why do you reduce people to just their genitals? I think, well, we can't sit up here and try to act like genitalia doesn't play a part in sexuality. Sex doesn't play a part in relationships. It's not the end all be all, but it is an important part of being in a relationship or wanting to get with someone. Me, I'm not opposed to getting in a relationship with a trans man. The only thing is, yeah, there will be deal breakers. First of all, I'm with Maddie on that. You're not sticking no plastic in my ass. I don't like dildos. I don't like the feeling of plastic going in my behind. You know, and I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I've never bottomed before, because when I was in my early 20s and I didn't know anything about sex, whatever the case was, yeah, I had my bottoming days, but I'm coming to the point of like, I don't like bottoming. First of all, it's too much damn work. I bleed easily back there, and it's not comfortable. But I love fucking. So when it comes down to it, it's like, yeah, a strap-on would be a deal breaker. First of all, you are not having me bent and spread my legs. Like, if you're into that, then that's great. And there's nothing wrong with if you're going to be in a relationship with someone or you're interested in someone, that you have boundaries. So I don't like the fact that some people were literally looking at Maddie like she's reducing down. Now, of course, she's going to do she's a personality. So she's going to throw a little comedy up in the situation. But if you strip all that down and you understand where she's coming from with all this, you definitely get the meat and potatoes, pun intended, of what she's saying, or to the root. Now, one person said, now let's go to the comments, because they said heterosexual men can say the same thing about trans women because we don't have the female anatomy, but it all comes down to personal preferences. First of all, I hate the term personal preferences, but they also, you need to understand that people need to also realize that not every trans person is post-op. There's some that are pre-op. There's levels to being trans. So we're not just going to all lump everybody in that category. And here's the thing, that's Maddie's experience. So she's telling you her experience, which should leave the door open and open up a dialogue for the fact of other people to come in and give their experiences. Respectfully, because leave the transphobia, all that stuff on the outside. Y'all not included in this conversation. But people who want to genuinely have a conversation about who are in similar situations like this, I feel like it should open up a door for people to have this type of discussion. Somebody said, is it honestly, wait, hold on, because I want to go to this. Somebody said, as a trans woman myself, I would never be transphobic. However, as I said, it all depends on personal preferences. Well, I don't think Maddie's being transphobic. T.S. Madison is not transphobic. One of the things about her is like, yeah, she's a trans woman, but she's going to give you her unfiltered opinion. She's not going to sugarcoat it and make it sound a certain way, because a lot of y'all minorities, and I'm talking in general, whether you're trans or any more part of the LGBTQ plus community, or even if you're a person of color, whatever the case is, a lot of our marginalized communities worry too much about what other people think on the outside, rather than really just be in the moment and have the conversation on what we're talking about, and stop worrying about what them outsiders who don't give a fuck about us is thinking, because that's where that comes from. Another person responding to that person said, is it honestly transphobia because she is pointing out that the vagina has been created? It honestly and technically has been created by man for the trans individual to feel more like themselves, right? Well, I don't think what it was that Maddie was saying that you're a trans male, a woman who's transitioned to a man. Yeah, you on the outside, every part of you looks like a man. You have the top surgery, the testosterone, you're taking your hormone, all, the testosterone, all the other stuff to give yourself the ability to look like a trans man. The only problem is, unlike trans women, where you could take the male penis and bone and all that stuff and form it into a vagina when you go under the knife and have the surgery, there isn't enough meat between me down there for trans men to get a dick. So unfortunately, they're stuck with like being a dude. We get explicit on it. I don't sugarcoat nothing either. You're gonna be a dude with a pussy. And so people think like we're the only way they can accommodate is like, well, we can add strap-ons. So that's what the lesbians do. So when you got the tuna salad girls, meaning the ones that get full on fish, the feminine lesbians, and then they with the studs who put on the strap-on. Y'all can make that work out, because at least y'all both got pussies and y'all can make it, work. But when you putting on a dildo in your butt, I don't know how gay men even like putting dildos in their butt. But I don't like no type of fake plastic, whatever. Sometimes it is you want to feel like when you're having sex with someone that you feel the heat, the throbbing of an actual penis going into your orifices, and that feeling of somebody nutting in you, the dick throbbing and going in and out. It's like that actual feeling of human flesh rubbing up against each other, not a piece of plastic. So when people sit up here and talk about that she's being misogynistic and transphobic, I don't agree with that. One of my friends said, shout out to DJ Baker. He said, this is just funny. I don't think there's any more to that. T.S. Madison has standards, and if she wants soul, well, damn it, get your soul on. Maybe she's just open to try it again, because one day she's going to meet that N-word and will strap, I say ninja, because that's the word I prefer to use at times, that will strap souls through her, and she will never be the same again. Well, I always say try something more than once to make sure. If you try something, try anything one time, and if you don't like it, give it a little gander one more. Like, give yourself a couple of months. Try to give it a, come around again, give it a little gander one more time, and then be like, let me just make sure that I don't like it. And if you don't like it, you just gotta make sure, and then move on. But shout out to Ocean Kelly, who is a trans music producer, who said the following. Then we're going to wrap this up. T.S. Madison is her own person with her own trans experience, and it's very important to remember that she is completely valid in expressing how she feels about her experience, whilst understanding that this isn't every experience for every trans relationship. It's really not any deeper than that, because everything she's saying, another trans person could say something completely different. I don't know why that's so hard to grasp for people. It's probably because everybody is so egotistical and concerned about their own experiences, not realizing that we are all different, and this is a story she's telling on her personal platform. The fact that some of y'all are calling her transphobic by her describing her trans experience is honestly more problematic, to be honest. She went on, and then Ocean went to continue by saying, sometimes I be wondering if y'all have friends. When your friends say something you don't agree with, do you just immediately call them all types of names? If T.S. Madison would have said this to me as her friend in the room, I probably would have laughed and be like, now, girl, other people might think differently. And just like she said in this video, that it's her experience. I think she would remind me that she's only referring to herself. She's not saying that other people couldn't feel any differently. And I do feel like a lot of times we need to understand that we have differences of opinion. I'm telling you my experience. I'm not saying that you have to agree with what I'm saying. I'm not saying that your opinion is less valid. I'm telling you what I went through, my experience, what I like and dislike, and what my boundaries are, or what I'm not going to put up with if I'm having sexual relationships with someone. If I'm a trans woman who still got my meat and potatoes, titties at the top, dick at the bottom, as she likes to say, which comes from another person's song, by the way. But still, when you got titties at the top and dick at the bottom, and you get in a relationship with a trans man, and they want to put on the strap on and say, that's not what I'm interested in. She should be allowed to set her boundaries and be like, well, this is what I will and will not do in the bedroom. And you could either be okay with it, or, you know what? That's good. I'm sorry. I guess we're just going to have to be better off as friends. But I need more than that in a sexual relationship. And if y'all not willing to come to that compromise, go y'all separate ways. I don't feel like y'all should be so quick to put misogyny and transphobia and all that stuff. It's like, I do agree with Ocean. Like, some of y'all need to get out and touch some damn grass, or get y'all some friends, because I don't expect all my friends to just agree with every damn thing I say. In fact, if people sit around and just kiss my ass and be friends with me, I can't have you in my inner circle. I live for debate. I live for agreeing and disagreeing with my friends, and I don't judge them on it. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Are y'all understanding and here for what TS had to say? Or do you feel differently? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so Robert says his Madonna photo shoot during, yeah, of course he was. I love that photo shoot. That was many of them that David LaChapelle did a lot of shoots with Madonna. He said the S&M video was a loss. Oh yeah, I forgot that he directed that, right? The fact fans are turning on Nicki Minaj since the lawsuit and that video of her man being arrested. I'm like, the tides have turned during her most successful era, and we'll see how well them tickets do when Pink Friday 2 hits the road again, because you know she's coming back to doing she's doing another round of the Pink Friday 2 tour. He said, I'm still here, still just listening. Well, I expect nothing less from a lot of the people. Y'all sitting just listening. And I appreciate it. Okay, 3 more topics, and we are done with today's show. So let's get into, speaking of lesbians, allegedly. Because we were talking about the studs earlier. Let's talk about MC Lyte, who, you know, has officially addressed the long-time rumors about her sexuality. Now, after years of fan speculation, MC Lyte opened up to Charlamagne Tha God on The Breakfast Club after being asked if the rumors of her being, how you doing, bothered her. And we actually have a clip of it, courtesy of, you know, the Neighborhood Talk. Y'all, shout out to y'all. I mean, not the Neighborhood Talk, Gay Magazine, because, you know, we took the thing with T.S. Madison from them, and we're going to use this as a reference as well. I live for Gay Magazine. Shout out to y'all. And so we got the clip of her where she's talking about her sexuality, and then we'll break it on down, of course, per usual. Please hold.
To constantly have people assume you were gay. I remember when they announced you were divorced, everybody was like, oh, I thought you were gay.
Yeah, I remember Just Hilarious. I think she posted something that was like, what?
Pause. Now, I know we're not going to sit up here and be like, oh, Just Hilarious posted something. Some people think Just Hilarious is a member of the LGBTQ community with that deep-ass voice she got. But anyway, let's continue.
And in the news, you know, and, you know, to me, it's just, when I said people will say that you like something before you even know what you like, you know. And my biggest thing with the younger generation is don't be so prepared to put yourself in a box. You're learning. You know, life is what it is. Coming out of teens into your 20s, you're seeing things. I had to learn much later on in life, everything you think doesn't need to happen. Right? It can.
How challenging had it?
Like Charlamagne understand what the hell she meant by that, but
it can be a thought and stay there. Everything that you see other people do doesn't have to be the life for you. And you know, growing up as an only child, things are impressionable. It's like, oh, okay, that must be the thing. Okay, wait a minute, hold on. Okay, we're not doing that no more. Okay. And so for me to be able to choose my life for myself is extremely important. So did it bother me? Perhaps in the beginning, but then it just became, oh, okay, well, that's how you want to feel. That's great. And that's not saying that those types of things didn't happen in my life, but that's not all of who I am. And so.
Oh, so the rumors did stem from somewhere, but that's okay. I mean, got you. Right. You experimented, basically. Got you.
When you're young, especially in this business, it's like, okay, you think it, okay, let's make that happen.
Oh, now you
right?
They about to open up the Illuminati conspiracy theories.
Well, the sad part about it is many people get stuck there, right? And so they're stuck with what it is that other people want them to be or are comfortable with them being. You can't possibly look like that and want to do that, or you can't possibly look like that and want to be with a man or find men attractive. Or me getting married, first off, I'm way more traditional than anybody would ever assume. So me getting married was because I believe in the sanctity of marriage, of partnership. And it not working was devastating for me. But it also called to action me being responsible for the way that I speak, for the way that I behave, and being accountable for someone else's feelings.
But it kind of makes me wonder the reason why she got married with a man in the first place. She said it didn't work for her because she believes in the traditional sanctity of marriage is because you were marrying a man because it's what society expected from you. Because, you know, a lot of people, particularly in the Black community, especially if you're a person that's older, it's like it's wrong to be gay. It's an abomination. And the fact of the matter is, it's like, yeah, I did agree with her in some parts where she was saying, well, yeah, when it comes to relationships and this, that, and the other, it's like when you're growing up and you're still trying to figure yourself out, especially in your teens and your 20s and that sort of thing. And yes, when you look at MC Lyte does give masculine energy. Like Jess Hilarious, which is why I guess Jess Hilarious was going so hard against the trans girls, because she kind of fits in that category of like, you do give masculine energy, and there's nothing wrong with that. We're all, it takes a man and a woman to make a baby, correct? So we all have parts of us that give masculine energy, and then there's parts of us that give feminine energy. Some people tip the scale a little more to the other side than the other side. Some people tip a little more left to the right, I should say. So when it comes to that thing, it's like, yeah, when we have so many other people that, we suspected, when you look at Queen Latifah, when you look at who is married to a woman and has a child, but she ain't come out publicly and said it. We know it because we've seen it. And I used to see Latifah down at the piers all the time in New York. A new girl in the passenger seat every other time she would come down there. So Latifah was notorious for being up in the lesbian clubs. With the rumors surrounding Missy Elliott, the rumors surrounding Luther Vandross. Like there was Whitney Houston. Let's not even get started on that. So over the years, when you have this thing of, yeah, I dabbled, I have feelings for not only someone of the opposite sex, but also from the same gender. But I'm not going to put a label on it because that's not all of who I am and that's not all who I identify as. And quiet as it's kept, Black people are not someone who's necessarily always accepted in the queer community, especially when Black queer people have been at the forefront of a lot of the civil rights movement, especially in the queer community. Particularly, do I need to bring up Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera? Do I need to bring up the Stonewall riots and that sort of thing? There were a lot of queer people of color that was at the helm of that. Yet white people tend to make it a lot of us feel like we're othered. We're not a part of that, mainstream LGBTQIA plus umbrella. So I can see why a lot of people who are Black and I don't necessarily want to identify with putting a label on what it is they do. It's no different than when we were just talking about August Alsina being in a relationship with a man and saying that, you know what, yeah, I'm in a relationship with someone, but I'm not going to sit and put a label on things. And I don't think that we should always have to be so quick to put people in a box just because it makes it easier for us and it helps with our comfort level of identifying this person. So we've labeled them. So now we could figure out how we could be comfortable about them in this situation. So of course we got to jump over to the comments regarding what some of the people were saying, and then we'll move on. One person said her life, her business, in the story. Another person put, who cares? This woman is a literal legend, a Black icon. We don't need to drag her out of anywhere she doesn't want to be. Lift her up in whatever direction she chooses to go. We keep tearing each other down. We won't have anyone else. Another person said, you can still be gay and bisexual even if you have decided to refrain from same gender sex. That feels like some church shit, though, when you say, oh, yeah, you can identify as long as you don't act on it, because sometimes religion tells you, oh, you could be gay or whatever as long as you don't act on it. First of all, you're going to tell me who I can and cannot fuck. Another person says she's from a different generation where even if it was true, she still wouldn't loudly admit it. So I can't even blame her. And I think also we need to take into consideration of that as well. Not only have that we people of color have been at the forefront of a lot of things, but still don't get our flowers, because the white people want to come along and take all the goddamn credit per usual, colonization. You have to realize like how misogynistic and homophobic the hip hop community is. So a lot of girls have to put on that tough persona to be able to move and navigate through those rooms, but still, they might be into someone of the same sex. And you also have to think it's a generational thing. It's not until recently that more people have become more comfortable because we're exposed to, more seeing seeing queer exposure. More people are feeling comfortable in their own skin to actually come out and say that, they're a part of the community. More people, as I said, Gen Z, there's more of them coming out as queer than any other demographic. So I totally understand where MC Light is coming from. It's like, child, we all kind of knew. We all kind of had our suspicions. And I say live and let live. Let her do what she wants. Because I was one of the people that was out there saying, like, she married a man? Like, I didn't say that when I heard that. And then she was getting a divorce. Like, it was a shock. And I'm sure it was. So I'm glad that, they asked the question. So I say this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, Robert says, I didn't mean to share the Pink News article, but I thought you would love the shade to heterosexual men getting excited for the so-called Oasis reunion since the Killers issued. Wait, was that the Pink News article that you was talking about? Okay, so all right, so shout out. I want to give go to our next topic, which is a shout out to my girl Willem, who has a new gig. She's about to host a brand new stripper show for Out TV, because once upon a time, Out TV did have a show on there. They did oh my God, what was the name of that show? There was one with Johnny McGovern where Go for the Gold. So he had 2 seasons of that, but I think they canceled it. First of all, that show was god awful. They were trying too hard to be like RuPaul's Drag Race in the way the show was set up. It looked very low budget. No shade, but look, RuPaul's Drag Race started out low budget at 1.2 before it became this global phenomenon where it looks expensive. And then he tried to, Johnny McGovern tried to create a show similar to that, but it just didn't have that je ne sais quoi, I should say. And here's the thing. I'm another person that has an idea for a stripper show that I'm going to make happen one of these days, Lord willing. I have been talking to some people about it, but I do feel like with drag and strippers, a go-go dance or whatever, that world and sex workers, whatever, that all goes hand in hand. So Daddy TV is this is their latest project, which I have to say, good on them, because Daddy TV pretty much has a lot of great shows. They got For the Love of Dills. I believe they're also behind the X-rated series, which NYC is about to come on. Their 3rd season is about to come on. I can't remember exactly when, but I did see the trailer recently. And I don't know what's going on with LA. But shout out to Willem, because I like Willem. And the fact of the matter is, if she can come up with a show that can rival Drag Race, especially with all the drama and the beef that's gone between her and RuPaul over the years, bitch, I'm here for it. And Willem, if you need somebody to come on there and be a judge or whatever, shit, I'll come on there and sit on the panel next to y'all. And when y'all hear who the judges are that's gonna be sitting against them, y'all really gonna live. So Out TV, the LGBTQ plus streaming service, has commissioned a new male stripper reality competition series called Willem's Dark Room Duel. First of all, that is such a cackle. Dark Room Duel. I live for that. Because it's like the challenge versus porn. Oh, what y'all doing in the dark room? Well, actually, like I said, it's going to be hosted by drag icon Willem Belli. The 7-episode series, which is produced by Daddy TV and enters production on October of this year, will feature multi-talented male strippers going head-to-head in a series of themed challenges and performances. The entertainer who makes it to the top of the bracket-based elimination system will win a prize package that includes the amazing opportunity to open for Willem during one of their iconic live shows. Now, judging alongside Willem will be drag artist Meatball Queen, who was on Dragula and also Sloppy Seconds podcast, and the legendary male entertainer Raheem Shabazz, who is 2024's Gavian Performer of the Year. Now, here's the thing. I live for the fact that y'all got Meatball a part of this, and I can see why they got Meatball. Number one, Meatball is a cackle. And if you ever seen her fat slut party, you will have the greatest time, especially when she does this thing where she takes some of the grossest food and puts it in a Jell-O mold and has like a contest where she'll pick people out of the audience and y'all got to strip down and like half naked, or you could be naked, and just like smash it with your body. It was so gross when I watched the thing, but I was there the last time y'all saw it because I posted the Lady Bunny video and all the other stuff on my social medias. So when I went to that, it was like, Meatball is a cackle. So having her be a part of this, I feel like is awesome. And if you haven't been to any of Meatball's parties, y'all know what y'all missing. And definitely check her show, Sloppy Seconds with Big Dipper, on the mom website podcast, whatever you want to call it. It's up there. And I believe Willem and Alaska co-own Mom. So that kind of works out. So for Philip Webb, the COO of Out TV, said collaborating with Willem on a new project is always such a joy because they bring the perfect balance of wit, know-how, and pure charisma. We're thrilled to be adding Willem's Dark Room Duel to Out TV's roster of diverse, queer, LGBTQ plus programming. Willem added, I used to book and manage strippers back in the day, and still some of my best friends are strippers. Trust me, when it comes to taking off clothes, I know what I'm talking about. Plus, I love making stuff with Out TV. I think they really get what people want from a queer TV show, me at the top of the call sheet. So they do have a link to, you know, if you want to get cast on the show. I have the I'll put that information on, you can probably actually go on Out TV's website or something or another, and it says Willem's Dark Room Duel. Hold on, let me actually put it up in here if y'all need to, you know, if y'all actually want to audition. So y'all can basically go to this site right here, willemsdarkroomduel.castingcrane.com/age-gate. So if you are a stripper and you're interested in being a part of this show, definitely check it out. You know who I think would also be a good person to add on there? I don't know if they're doing like guest judges like RuPaul's Drag Race, but y'all need to get Mario Diaz on this show. Because Mario Diaz is someone who really knows how to put strippers together. Like, he dresses them. He does all that other stuff. So I would love to see y'all possibly do that. But this will be great because I'm hoping that we could see a lot of drag queens pop up on the show, particularly Alaska as a guest judge and that sort of thing. So just having the three of them on there, you hosting and you judging. And I like Willem because Willem is funny. She's witty. She's very, very deadpan with her delivery. And I'm definitely excited to see the show. And I have to say, as someone who watches a lot of Out TV, this is definitely up their alley regards to quality entertainment. And no shade, no shade to you, Johnny, but you had an interesting idea in regards of go for the goal. But first of all, that little sashay away S-type sign-off that you was doing was just stupid. Go for the goal was such a dumb title for a show. And it was just, it just felt like the comedy was a little too forced and contrived. Or the drama. I won't say not comedy, the drama. Because it was like y'all were trying too hard to be like RuPaul's Drag Race rather than being your own thing. And trust and believe, when people sit up out here and say, men aren't entertaining, people don't want to watch a bunch of men be messy and catty, whatever. And that's why you hear these self-hating homosexuals like Carlos King and Andy Cohen say that. But it's like, clearly y'all don't hang around real gay people. Like, the club scene is my scene. The nightlife scene, I know a lot of people work in the nightlife scene, a lot of a lot of dancers, a lot of drag queens, and a lot of a lot of promoters, especially in New York. So I understand, like, in regards of how all that world works. And trust and believe, strippers are dramatic. Strippers are messy too. And they will bring it in regards of the show. I don't even think you gotta force the drama out of them. They get messy when they need to. And I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what Out TV is going to bring with this show. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Are you guys actually excited to check out this brand new show starring RuPaul's Drag Race's very own Willem Belli? Let me know. Well, I say for me personally, I'm definitely excited because, I love watching them. I love my drag queens, but I also love my half-naked men's and them that's on the camera as well. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. He said, hey, just own your truth. Okay. Onyx said, more love to our strippers. Exactly. And that's why I said, you want to know something? I'm glad somebody was when you said go for the goal was so cringe and honestly felt degrading for the contestants. Yeah, because it felt like it was like, to me, if one of my dreams, and I said this, I spoke to somebody that works in the industry about developing my own show idea, which I'm not going to say up on here because I don't want anybody to steal it. But it's similar in that whole world of like go-go dancers or whatever. I even got the title of the show down and everything, and some of the ideas of like the challenges and who I want on there as judges and all this other stuff. I even know people that can do the photo shoots and things. But I said that to me, it should be a celebration of go-go dancers. Go-go dancers put just as much effort into what they do as the drag queens. Yeah, there'd be some up there that just being a little Andrew Christians, doing that lazy ass dance or whatever. Then there's some that really put in the work, that go and pick out the costumes, that are engaging, that really work out the art of performance. And I feel like that go-go dancing or stripping and drag queens, that whole world goes hand in hand. And they should be celebrated. And it'd be cool. And I'm sure that with Willem is going to have all different body types. So I don't think it'll just be, these muscular, perfect body types. You have bears that there are bear parties that go on. And so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what Willem is going to bring to the show. And I feel like she's a way better personality because when I looked at some of them judges they had on Go for the Goal, I was like, none of y'all have that it factor to be up in here doing a show. You say it sounds like Out TV learned what the people wanted: R-rated, close to X-rated shows. And that's it. I like what Out TV does. Out TV is a way edgier version of Here TV, and to me, I was like, I even thought about possibly like shopping some projects to them because I like a lot of, or even finding a way to infiltrate the compound and, you know, be a judge or whatever on those shows. So I put that in the universe. There's a way that I could go and link and mingle with those people over there and be on a panel or do whatever. I was like, bitch, I'll do it. I'll even contribute some of my own stuff to it. Because I can't, and I do agree with you on this. And I'm gonna get to your story and your comment. Well, I'm gonna get to it now. So like you said, because to please Middle America. Well, fuck Middle America. First of all, I'm sure there's a lot of people in Middle America that are subscribers of Out TV. And the good thing about Out TV is not that expensive. I'm paying like, I think $4 for it. So it's relatively cheap. And they got some good stuff on there. Like I watched all the For the Love of Dilfs. Love both seasons. Y'all know my friend Alex Tikas was on the first season. Then you had Nick Mask, who I hung out with a couple of times when I lived in LA in West Hollywood. He was on the last season. He also just did the Wild podcast. I don't know if y'all seen that show, but he was just on there. He did a one-on-one interview. So I like that show. I like the what was the one where they had like the sex workers and all this stuff on there? And you know, Willem has done work with them before, like Out TV, where he had that show with oh my God, what was that show with that movie Get and Go? I forgot his name. Matthew Camp. They had a show where it was like a court show on there. That was pretty funny. And then they got Kent Wanakiki. They got a lot of really good quality stuff on there. I do agree. First of all, I've been seeing your videos when you be up in there dancing half naked on social media. So yes, you should audition. Let me put your business out in the street. You said thoughts on the fallout from Andrew Christian. They're not selling undies and publicly, and probably because they were so late. They're not selling undies? Child, I heard some tea about Andrew Christian that there was somebody used that some of them type of parties that he be having, similar to Bryan Singer. I was having a conversation with somebody on the inside the other day regarding that. Oh, they said exactly. I don't like the Zeus Network. It's funny because when I was talking about my show idea, somebody that works in the industry was like, "Why don't you pitch it to Ray J's network?" And I'm like, "No. First of all, I don't like what he's doing. First of all, you're literally Xerox copying everything that they at the Zeus Network are doing with your own network, and then you're trying to create a baddie show with trans girls. So the trans girls got to be up in there beating the shit out of each other for 15 minutes of fame." I was like, "No, I don't want to put my show on that channel. I would rather do it without TV than them." You say Andrew Christian has been flopping for a while now. Well, no shade, but I've never particularly liked Andrew Christian stuff because I don't feel like his type of designs is even for us. Meaning, you know, some of us men of color who work out and we have thighs and we got ass and we got hips. I'm not saying my hips look like Kris Jenner man hips. I don't got childbearing hips like that, but I do have, because I do a lot of deadlifts and stuff at the gym, I do got meat on my bones. So, and you know, thick thighs save lives. So I can't be up in here wearing stuff like that and then it's too tight in the area or I got chafing when I'm walking. It's like, it's not comfortable. And saying all the Andrew Christian models from 2010 to 2015 are now corn stars. Kobe Melvin and all. Oh, yeah, I remember you saying just kidding. The truth is said in jokes. And you said X-rated NYC, and people are saying X-rated LA is full of drama as Dante keeps getting into fights and called Joey Mills a possessive, jealous ex that needs to be paralyzed. So there's bad blood over a guy. And Joey took back his. Well, the fact of the matter is, Joey Mills and his boyfriend Angel have been kind of going back and forth for years. And Angel's even on the new season. They made him a full-time part of the show. So I guess when Dante left, they decided to usher in Angel. And even though the stuff shout out to Boomer Banks, who we follow each other on social media, by the way. You know, say what you want about the show, feel a little contrived or whatever, but I'm entertained by it all. And I told you I knew Max Connor before he was Max Connor. I knew him back when he was Cliff, and that's his actual name. Back in the 2010s, I used to go to this club called The Web. It was the Asian club in New York. That's going now. I'm mad because I was like the only one. And Jiggly Caliente was the queen that used to do our shows and stuff there. So they used to be like on Monday nights, it would be like it'd be like Asian models, like Filipino, whatever the case was. There was this one, his name was Hugo, that I had a huge crush on. Filipino model, dancer. But then it was one of my friends actually worked there and as a dancer. And then I remember before he got all muscled out and stuff, Max Connor worked there. And this is when he was just getting into the adult film industry. So I knew him from the beginning. And it said size 22 Victoria's Secret for gay men. Size 22? I'm like, damn, that sounds like I'm a big girl. It's about size 22. But anyway. So, or y'all can drop some more stuff in the comments, but let's get to our final topic, which we got the latest tea on Austin Wolf. So it's not really much to go on though, because he was supposed to, I believe his case, his trial, whatever, was supposed to start today. It was supposed to be today. But then I was like, let me just go look it up. So of course, pride.com always be having the latest on it. Shout out to Ricky Cornish. But he said about Christopher Wiggins, and Ricky Cornish's name is also in there because I think it was like an update to Ricky Cornish's article that he wrote back then. So it was an update. But anyway, so they said Wolf's court date for his preliminary hearing has been moved once more and will now take place on September 27th of this year. Both sides continue to negotiate a disposition of the case. The delay indicates that both parties are still working on a plea deal. Now, and then it said on July 20th of 2024, a preliminary hearing for Austin Wolf, previously set for late July, has been rescheduled. The Southern District of New York filed a 30-day continuance, which was agreed by both the defense and the prosecution and presented to Magistrate Judge Tarnowski, who approved it. So they keep delaying. So the thing was, the first time when they went before a judge, they asked for the preliminary hearing to be rescheduled back in July. They extended it for 30 days to August 28th. Now, here it is, August 28th, and now they extended it again to September 27th. So at what point are we going to kind of come to the situation where it's like, okay, so you're just going to keep Austin in jail on pins and needles until y'all figure out what the hell y'all doing over there? And so, yeah, his Instagram, as y'all can see, is still up because I went over there to pull up this picture just for, context. But early in the week, I did mention that his Twitter was taken down. I guess people complained about it, and it's been taken down. Now, for those of you who need a refresher, in this situation, they said that, the advocate contacted the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York, but they didn't comment on what happened. They said on Monday, Thomas H. Andrikovitz, who represents Justice Smith / Austin Wolf, told the advocate that his client is being held in terrible conditions, saying the government's press release contains nothing but unproven and untested allegations against a man that is presumed innocent. Justin is thankful for the incredible support he is receiving from his friends and supporters, and he's being currently detained at Metropolitan Detention Center. I don't know where that is. That in Manhattan or in Brooklyn? I'll be knowing where all the stuff is. They have been, we already know like a lot of the porn stars and stuff have spoken out on him. And they said if he's convicted of his case, what he's been accused of, he faced a mandatory minimum sentence of 5 years of prison and a maximum sentence of 20 years. Austin made his initial appearance before a judge on June 28th, who determined the detention was necessary due to the risk of him being a flight risk. So yeah, they're talking about, well, he's being held in conditions or whatever, but it was like, yeah, he could be a flight risk because, he was allegedly flying in and out of the country. People were paying money, or he was paying them money. I can't remember exactly what it was, where he was just like doing sexual stuff with underage children, allegedly, and the videos were circulating on the dark web. And that's how he was making a little extra cointado on top of his other situations. So give y'all a refresher. They said court documents from the Southern District of New York alleged that Wolf used the messaging app Telegram to share videos with another individual who prosecutors say was an undercover FBI agent. A search conducted in April at Wolf's Manhattan apartment uncovered an SD card containing hundreds of illegal videos, according to prosecutors. These videos reportedly depict minors, including prepubescent children and infants, in sexually explicit situations. Now, speaking of Telegram, wasn't there a story that came out today? Let me look that up. That the CEO of Telegram was just arrested. Hold on. Yes. Telegram CEO Pavel Durov indicted in France for allegedly allowing criminal activity on the app. So we can add that to the docket. So it said Pavel Durov, the Russian-born billionaire CEO of the social media messaging app Telegram, was indicted in France for allegedly allowing criminal activity on the platform. Durov was placed under judicial supervision and is banned from leaving the country. This is according to Paris prosecutor office. He avoided jail by paying €5 million bail. He must report to a police station twice a week for check-ins. The indictment comes the same day the CEO was released from police custody after being arrested in connection with an ongoing judicial investigation. Durov, who's 39, was arrested at Le Bourget Airport. I think that's how you say that. If I messed that up, I apologize to my French people. Outside Paris, shortly after landing on a private jet late on August 24th. French President Emmanuel Macron confirmed his arrest 2 days later. Durov is accused of allegedly being passive with regard to cyber and financial crimes being committed on the Telegram platform and was indicted on 12 charges. The charges are related to child porn, drug trafficking, and fraudulent transactions on the platform. In his statement, Macron maintained that Durov's arrest was not political, saying France is more than anything attached to freedom of expression and communication, to innovation and the spirit of enterprise. And for those who don't know who Telegram is one of the most popular messaging apps in the world with approximately 800 million active users and large user base in Russia and Ukraine. So, you can go on there, and I know a lot of people have their little Telegram situations where they post photos and all kinds of other stuff. There's people who have their little pages where you do see sexual stuff on there. And it kind of makes me wonder, like, where there's smoke, there's fire. Because if Austin Wood was over there posting child porn, then the CEO of Telegram, it kind of makes me wonder, part of his deal is Austin over there snitching and singing like a canary? Like, are you revealing some things and putting people on blast, and where there's smoke, there's fire? So it kind of feels like, I don't know, I'm kind of casting the large, the rod out there, the fishing rod, and trying to catch the big fish. And that, is this a where there's smoke, there's fire type situation? And that possibly the CEO of Telegram knew what was going on, especially with Austin and what he was doing, and might be caught up in a similar situation. So I say all this to say, this is all we have right now. Now we got to wait another damn month before we could find out the verdict in regards of, the latest on Austin Wolf and where this case is going to be going. So yes, I will definitely be keeping you guys on the story as it develops. But in regards to what you guys heard so far, I definitely want to know what you guys think. So let me know what you guys think of this in the comments down below. Okay, so now we have comments. Wait, what is that? SREQ. What is that? It's a Dre. Can these people leave our kids alone? And yes, he landed in France and they arrested him, but he will fight this, and he can't control. He fight this. He can't control what the fuck everybody's doing. Child, a mess. But it said, what age is exactly? What do you mean ages? You talking about in regards of Austin Wolf? I mean, the story basically said, what was it? It featured legal videos depict minors, including prepubescent children and infants. I feel in sexually explicit situations. So I feel like that should be enough. It doesn't matter the age. The fact of the matter is they're prepubescent, which prepubescent would be at least under the ages of 11 and 12, or maybe on the cusp of that. And as well as infants, like these are babies. Literally, somebody just pushed out their coochie probably a couple of months ago, and he's doing sexual stuff with them. So they say he got dual citizenship, France and Russia. Well, they got to make sure his ass don't leave. Okay, I'm not even going to try to read that. Say infants, that's crazy. Exactly. So, unfortunately, it is what it is. But like I said, I'm gonna keep you guys abreast of the story as it develops. Now, speaking of stories, we are done with our stories for the day. I don't have any more topics. I'll probably be on tomorrow. So, thank you all for watching. Tune in again for another episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Please, if you haven't already, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and also smash that notification button so that we when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And like what Robert said, he's given names, so he get no jail, but he still deserves. Well, I don't know if he's necessarily going to get out of that. It's either you're probably going to reduce sentence, or you'll probably have to go into witness protection, because if he really thinks that he's going to make it out alive, that people, especially when you're dealing with people from Russia and the Ukraine, oh please, like Austin days is numbered. And I feel like, okay, so even if he were not to do jail time and he were to, anything would happen, is like you have a scarlet A on you for the rest of your life. You are literally a pariah in the world of porn. I don't see anybody working with you, and I feel like anybody who, and especially in this era of Me Too, Time's Up, accountability culture, whatever you want to call it, I really don't see people forgiving him, especially the gays. They're gonna be so damn judgmental, but then of course they're the superficial ones that'll be like still trying to do content with him. So they said, you're welcome, of course, for 2420. You said it's a federal case if the feds are involved, so they have a solid case. So I feel like, I definitely feel like it's if there's where there's smoke, there's fire situation. I'll get back to Kalani's. Am I taking a week off? More than likely, I'm going to have to, because I'm going to be so busy next week. And for my birthday week, I'm probably going to take off the first week of September and be back the following week. That's probably why I'm overcompensating by doing all these videos this week, because it's like, once September 1st hit, bitch, it's a wrap, because my birthday is that Monday, September 2nd. So, and that's Labor Day weekend. So I probably will be taking that week off and have to come back the following week. It's actually that seconds before you said infants. Oh, okay. So you said you asked before I even answered. So I guess it came at the same time. So in the timing, that's probably what I should look. I know I do be working hard. I be worrying so much about these algorithms, but I do feel like, you know what? The people love the show and they're here for it. The people will continue to come back. If not, it is what it is. But I do feel like because of the birthday week, I should take the week off, because I feel like right after that, I'm going to just get right back to doing what I've been doing. So, once again, like I said, thank you all for watching. I'll be back on tomorrow and more than likely Friday, and then I'll just be wrapping this up. So, Lord willing, if there's anything good and juicy going on in the entertainment world. But yes, love you all for watching. Thank you all for watching. Please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and smash the notification button if you haven't already. And yes, until you said keep up. Date. Well, I'll still be paying attention to what's going on in the world of celebrity news and gossip. I just won't be online running my mouth on it. I just have to, I'll do the articles or whatever the case is, and then that's pretty much it. But as far as like doing a full-on show, it's like, I just got to take a couple of days off. So love you all for watching. Until next time, ciao, darlings.